Good evening, friends and fellows. Welcome back to Tales on Tap on this another Tuesday evening. We're here to bring you some noir D&D vibes for you to chill and relax to. But I'm not here doing it alone. I'm here with a bunch of other friends who are going to help me along the way. Here they are. Look at them. Aren't they wonderful?
Hello.
Aren't they wonderful? One of them's missing right now, but he's going to be back along very, very shortly. But yeah, welcome in everyone. Hope you've had a good weekend and are ready for a good week ahead. We're going to kick off into today's episode shortly, but before we do that, we must get a few announcements sort of put away first. I don't know. I was going to say pegged then, but I've said it now. So I like to spin these guys
Great
up.
start.
I send them. So, okay, yeah. So we're going to start with Natalie. Can you give us some information about one of our sponsors, please?
Absolutely. So normally this is the part where I say head down to the dungeon and go and visit Valkyrie RPG. And because they do lots of dice and stuff. But I want to highlight a new item that they have in their stock. They have a set of metallic dice. I think they're called the Oracle dice. And they are simply gorgeous. And they are already selling extremely fast. So I advise you go and get them very quickly because they are lovely. But if you're not into dice, they also do other stuff. They do terrain, they do t-shirts, they do horns for cosplay, they do jewelry and lovely people, lovely stuff. So definitely support them, and all the details are down in the dungeon. But don't forget to add Tails 10 at checkout for an extra 10% off.
Woo. Thank you very much for that. We're going to go next up to Han.
Oh, I'm looking at dice now.
Yeah, me too. I'm on the Oracle page. Yeah.
I was tempted, but I was like, oh wait, I've got things to do, so I need to make sure I'm focused. But no, Han, what can you tell us about some of the things that are coming up?
Well, so next Saturday we will be doing our first ever live show at Preston for the Preston Games and Fantasy Con. It'll be at 53 degrees in Preston and Lancashire. So if you're able to make your way up or down or wherever you're coming from, then we would love to have you there. As I say, it'll be our first ever live session. It's going to be a lot of fun. And head over to Preston Games and Fantasy Con, like Instagram and socials, and there'll be a few little teasers as to what you've got in store. But yeah, very excited about that.
Speaking of, so anything else coming up? Sorry, Han.
Well, I mean, I've said it before, but Dan and I guested over our Modified Roll, so head over and check them out and give them some love anywhere that you cast your pods. We guest feature in a few of the episodes coming up and being released like at the moment. So yeah, if you wanna hear us engage in a weird adventure with kobolds, then go check it out.
There you go. You'll hear some familiar faces. But speaking of social media that was brought up briefly there, Evan, what can you tell us about what's going on with social media at the moment?
Well, the Preston Fantasy Gaming Con is going to be a big topic in the coming week, or the coming 2 weeks. Apart from that, we are also continuing to release our out-of-context pictures. If you haven't seen the out-of-context pictures for last week's episode, which went up today, then I advise you to go and do so during the break, because it's always really fun, even if you've already seen the episode. But yeah, apart from that, you can find us all over social media as per usual. All the links should be down in the dungeon. And yeah, is there anything else? I don't think so. I really like, even though obviously I do see the episodes because I'm in them, I still quite like going back over those out of context things and trying to relate the different images to the different parts of the episode. Oh, I'm trying my hardest to make
it. Some of them are quite
sometimes glaringly obvious and sometimes like really cryptic. It's the best time when you've managed to find that one picture where if you don't know it, you're scratching your head. Yeah. And then as soon as you've seen the episode, you're like, oh, you son of a bitch.
Nice one. Thank you, Evan. Dan, what can you tell us about some of the other things that are going on other platforms?
We're on YouTube. Go subscribe.
That's correct.
Sorry,
nicely done, sir.
I kind of rambled last week, so I thought, like, this week I'm just going to cut to the mustard. We're on YouTube. Go subscribe. If you need to know where to find us on YouTube, type in Tales on Tap. You have fingers. If you don't, it has a little button you can press with your nose and then speak Tales on Tap. It will come up. Then press subscribe.
Indeed. I'm not sure. Thank you for that. There's lots of stuff there, by the way, not just our current campaign, our previous campaigns, other one-shots and other videos. We don't have a Dan right now, I don't believe. So I will just inform you that whenever you see combat take place here on Tales on Tap, more than likely that combat map and that encounter materials was built by our good friend Tom Kartos, one of our other sponsors. He is a purveyor of all things battle maps, all things combat, tokens, scenery, things like that. There's a wide range of different themes and areas and structures and scenes that you can play out your battles on if you just go to Tom Kartos. Tom, is it tom-kartos.com? I've not done this announcement before.
No, it's just Tom Kartos.
No, it's just
Tom Kartos.
Just Tom Kartos. If you can Google it, like Dan said, it's very simple. Use your fingers. And then finally, if you are watching us here live tonight on twitch.tv, you can subscribe to us for the meager sum of £4.99 or whatever that the equivalent is in your local currency. Maybe it's dollars, maybe it's something else that I've not heard of before, but you can still do it. Or if you don't have any of those dollars or pounds or other currencies available at the moment, you can link your Twitch account to your Amazon Prime account and get one free subscription for the month. We hope you spend it with us. If you're watching this on YouTube, just come over to Twitch and just drop it. We don't have to be live. You can still subscribe and, helps. Do it now. Do it now. We'll wait.
We've waited long enough. Let's get on with the show.
Okay, fine. Yeah, we've waited long enough. You could have paused anyway. But so, with that all said, I believe that's everything that we need to cover. We're going to kick straight into today's episode of Aerilon, Sins of the Peacekeeper, right here on Tales on Tap. Last week on Sins of the Peacekeeper, the group had finally finished their first case, but while they were being debriefed, some strange entities entered the area, seeming to target Artemis Gill. They ripped him from this dimension into another, bringing the rest of the party with them, and they fought to pry these metallic, monstrous creatures from the arms of Artemis as he was held in some kind of hypnotized state, in his vision drifting down a hallway towards a black door. As the connection was severed, Artemis managed to push himself away from the door, rejecting the entity that was drawing him in, and they all arrived back in the briefing room. A little bit shocked and confused by what they had seen, the Regent promised answers soon, and that this had expedited things a little bit, seemingly an unexpected occurrence to all present. you guys were given roughly a week to get some affairs in order before the real job begins. And I'm going to come to each of you with what you were able to sort of achieve and what you got up to during those few days. So first we'll go to Arturius, seeing as he's distracted, sending memes to the rest of the party.
No, someone actually sent them to me for once. So for context, when people are like in the heat of a really tense situation, I'll randomly just send them like a hot dog gif. And now
the shoe is on the other foot.
And now I've just been hit with a hot dog.
Okay, so yeah, during this week of downtime where you guys were dismissed for a while to pursue your own leads, your own decompression, or whatever it is that you guys wanted to get done, what was Arturius up to during this time?
Well, Arturius kind of came into last session feeling pretty good about himself. We saved the child, we closed the case, we'd saved like Artemis. I'd kind of come to a few epiphanies at that point that maybe life is a little bit too short to be like hung up on stuff. And then lo and behold, these spiky monsters stole Artemis, and I was like, no, that's out the window. So then I thought I'd smooth over the cracks with bagels. And then lo and behold, the Dungeon Master had other plans! So I ended up fucking someone up who rode a unicycle. It was weird.
Okay, yeah. But before that, if I don't know, you may recall you were reacquainted with an old friend.
Yeah, so so it was Reynard that we walked back to the house and saw one of my friends. That was pretty cool. Then another old ally from your days before Valvaris. Your elk. Oh yeah, my elk. Yeah, Ethrandir turned up. He was pretty. Yeah, so that was weird because Jax was like, "Why have we got an elk?" So that took some explaining. But yeah, my little elk rocked up last week. That was pretty cool. Yeah, highlights were probably the bagels and the existential crisis that I had chopping some dude's foot off.
Yeah. Fair enough. Artemis, after a stressful previous session, your last session, you managed to unwind a little bit and again also reacquaint yourself with an old friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so after being pulled into a different dimension, pulled into one sub-dimension within the dimension, and just having this whole Inception kind of mindscape adventure, Artemis was pretty shaken up. It wasn't a good time. He went home, Jax in tow, to sort of make sure that he didn't just open more rifts to the Eldritch Planes while he was asleep. All went well, woke up, had some dominoes, had some good times, it was nice. Met Brasai, his former companion, partner, and only real friend from the past from the Ministry of Seals, also known as Jefferson. Brasai is his code name, Bluegilly is Gills, and his real name is Artemis, but who is who knows? They shared churros, information, they bonded a little bit. He kind of got a little bit of a pep talk and then more of a pep talk from Jax once they came down and, told him what was up and it was okay. And then they went back to the house, talked to Bandolier. Then all of those good feelings were left behind when Jax and Arturius went for bagels and completely forgot he was in the room they had been in 5 minutes previously. So, left on his own, he decided to catch up with Fortress a little bit, see what the deal was with her, get a little bit more, just a little bit more on the level before. I mean, it went straight into Arturius' house being absolutely ransacked by people on unicycles, but in the sort of, if the week had occurred, he would have been training his mind to be a little bit more stronger, a little bit more defensive when it comes to being invaded by things he doesn't want them in there.
Yeah, so indeed, you had a few wise words and words of encouragement from an old mentor, and a little bit more information on the exact nature of Fortress and her connection to this division. Seeing as we're on the subject, Jax, you obviously went to go mind Artemis while he was taking his first slumber since being dragged to whatever realm you guys were dragged to.
Yeah, knocked a horseshoe off above the door.
Yeah, that's good. You've been reading your notes.
I do remember that bit. And then I initially headed back to my flat to pick up some blueprints and also to feed the cats, of course. And with those blueprints, I spent some time with Bandolier working on something that had been a unfunctional prototype beforehand, but it became a working sentry alarm mechanism, or SAM, a little alarm bot. And I'd just like to say I did end up going back to the bagel shop to get Artemis a bagel because Jax felt guilty. So that's a point back, maybe half a point back. And yeah, I've after having bagels with Arthur, just got back to the house before I get paged in to give some backup. So I sprint across these arches and arrive at a scene.
Indeed. But as this was all kicking off, Lumiel and Marcus were at different parts of the city pursuing their own relaxation and decompression and maybe some other things as well. We'll go first with Lumiel.
So Lumiel went home to catch up with Heels and Ricky. She also caught up with her little corgi, Candy.
Yep.
And Candy encouraged her to play some music and on her pan flute that was given to her by Heels a long time ago. She spent the rest of the week chilling in bars, kind of trying to get some information, listen out for tidbits while performing, and perfecting her performance. One went a little bit awry when she accidentally cast command on someone to pull down their pants, but she apologized, offered them gold, and quickly left. As you do. She was too far away when she got the page about Artemis in trouble. Artorias in trouble. So she is running across the sea, trying to get there. But that's about it.
Indeed, and your little corgi Candy is in fact your magically summoned familiar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it's a pink and purple familiar corgi.
Thank you. And Marcus, a little bit of a more dreary setting in Marcus Manor. What can you tell us about what you got up to?
Well, as per usual, Marcus Live sucks. And he likes it that way. So after our encounter with the weird-ass fleshy iron things, Marcus decided to go home to his nice, quiet, shitty part of the Rat Downs, as deep as you can get into the slums, and realized that the powers that he's having are developing a little bit more. Things are getting worse, and just as he was about to go to bed, he had a knock on the door, and his old landlord, not old as in former landlord, but as in an old guy, was outside the door about to get a hammer in the face until he revealed to be his mysterious friend Nox waiting for him with a temporary solution for his problem. A mutagen called Reconstruction. And after sharing a few wise words together, asking for some advice on the piece of paper that Gilly had found during the raid, Marcus offered basically his entire salary to Nox, and then was about to go and have a sparring session with the dogs when he got a call that Artorius was being attacked, and so Marcus ran a marathon to the wrong fucking house.
Indeed, you ran all the way up to Varvaden, the complete opposite corner of the city to your dwelling, and arriving to find out that he was actually talking about his East Arches property, where he houses his mistress. Would we still call them a mistress, given that he is no longer married? We'll find out.
It's my partner.
Partner, there we go. Upgrade. No, I mean upgraded from mistress to partner.
Yeah,
Oh.
I didn't mean an upgrade from
Keep
his wife.
digging, buddy. Keep digging.
Sorry,
Keep
I
digging.
stopped
I
talking.
mean,
Again,
Yeah.
depends.
Indeed. But then, as this call rang out that the rest of you heard from the Regent, within that house in East Arches, Artorius stepped in to find the place ransacked, or indeed in the process of being ransacked. Two strange-looking individuals, almost in circus attire, both riding unicycles, as Gil mentioned, but ones that moved at an incredible speed, almost creating a whirlwind around the paladin. Their whips latching onto both of his arms and tying him up in this swirl. The situation was looking fairly helpless. Thankfully, Regent's call was answered, first by the dogs, who came in, delivered paired haymakers to each of these assailants, which released their grip on Artorius. Artorius then set about wreaking his revenge. Seeing that without the advantage of surprise, they may not be doing too well in this situation, especially with two more combatants now here, something they weren't expecting. They headed for the door, but arriving just in time to prevent the first one leaving, Jax, who popped him in the doorway. The other one was caught by, or knocked out by the dogs, and Artorius tied him up and began questioning this individual. Still in a haze of rage, he brought his greatsword down, severing a foot. This individual seemed to almost laugh at this threat, giving the impression that now that he had failed, had he returned, his boss would wreak far worse on him than Artorius ever could. However, through some very strong intimidation, some promises of safe passage out of the city as well, which definitely helped, you were able to glean some information. Can anyone tell me what that was? Come on, note takers. I know you've got it in you.
Well, yeah. Hang on.
I was looking directly at Han then. She has to Han has to
Well,
like scroll through 8 pages of
someone
notes
says-
just to find it.
If someone says something to you, you should probably write it down.
I was in the midst of torturing someone. Do you
Yeah,
mind?
okay, fair enough. You were busy.
Quentin's the dead one.
Yes.
Strung up. They had a partnership with these Street Vipers. Ostard, I think is that guy's name, likes money. They have a very JoJo-esque leader. He's apparently going to come for us and only cares about money. Wanted something valuable from him in exchange, and there were two names, Cavil and Beaumont's Cabaret.
Cavil and Beaumont's Cabaret.
Cavil, that was it. Yeah.
So that's a name and a location. Oh, okay.
So, having accepted what information Artemis was able to glean from the mind of this person who was being tortured under questioning, you left the dogs to escort them to the recent skyport, to the local skyport. There is only one skyport, I don't know why I said local. To the skyport, with a little bit of money to grant them safe passage out of the city, and they promised you'd never see them again. And then the Regent came over your tales and told you, Artorius, that there is someone waiting for you at the last chance. So, I assume you guys head there, or is there anything else you'd like to do beforehand?
Got the unicycles.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Max has picked up the two unicycles, which seem to burst with flame as if some engine was driving them.
Taking them back.
Yeah. I will be heading back to the house.
Okay. So you head back to the house. As you're sort of running, actually no, sorry, Marcus is on the other side of town. You head back to the house, Artemis, Arturius, and Jax. As you walk through the saloon doors, I assume Arturius first in a bit of a rush, wondering about the safety and condition of your mistress, or your partner, sorry.
Yes.
As you burst through those doors into the main sort of bar area, you see your partner, it's not Evangeline, it's Genevieve, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Genevieve is sitting at one of the dusty tables with the regent, a arrangement of playing cards laid out in front of them. You see Genevieve pluck one card, put it on top of the pile, put the pile aside, and then place down her final card. And I suppose that makes you a shithead 2 times over, doesn't it? What is it, best of 5 now? And the regent's like smoking a cigarette. Oh, yeah, bloody hell, nice work. Oh, here he is. And you see Genevieve look over to you. Hello, darling.
Hi. And I kind of drop the 2 suitcases.
Yeah.
And just kind of walk over and just go, so.
You look a little flustered. Your friend here came and brought me over. He said you had something for me or some kind of surprise. And she looks back at Regent. Regent's like, oh, yeah. Big surprise you wanted to tell her about. Isn't that right, Arthur?
It was. We'll have to talk about how this was going to work. So I was supposed to look. It's my timing. You know what I'm like. I was supposed to be here first. You were supposed to be walked in, and then big surprise. But we're kind of splitting hairs here.
Why don't we leave you two to it? And he kind of flicks a card at the 2 of you. And
Joss is just like trying to get 2 unicycles through the door. Is like, Gil, can you just hold it open?
Yeah, sure. Oh, okay.
What on earth have you been doing? Are you taking me to the circus or something? What the hell's going on?
No. Do you want to go? Do you like the circus? You've never
The circus.
You've never told me that. The next time there's a circus on, I will take you to the circus. No. We're out on the rounds. There was a terrible unicycle accident.
Oh dear.
Yeah, both parties are fine. But obviously, can't just leave unicycles in case somebody steals them, and again, that's against the law, and that's what we're here to do. Just make sure people don't do that.
It's a real epidemic.
Yeah.
I can't say I've noticed it. I've seen a few people riding around East Arches on unicycles, but not an epidemic. Sorry. Are you?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Arthur's
So
friends?
these are indeed my friends. So this is Jax and Artemis. We work together.
Oh, I recognised you. You were over the street the other day when Arthur came to visit.
Oh. Me?
I saw you all walking off together. When you left.
Yes.
They're quite lovely.
I'm sure. I'd love to. Arthur, what's going on?
Oh, look, we were just on a job, but
Yeah, well,
Lovely to meet you.
Yeah.
how are you? How was the appointment?
The appointment was great, thanks. Yeah, really good. Do try and come along to the next one.
My whole plan was to get lunch and then head straight there. I went back to the house to come and get you, but then obviously we had the surprise that I wanted to do as well.
Can you make a deception check for me, please?
Yeah, of course I can. I would imagine she's gonna see right fucking through this anyway. So that's 11.
Oh,
I know.
is that 11 with pluses?
No. That's 11. That is with my
you don't have
pluses.
any pluses.
No.
Well,
So that's my.
I also rolled an 11, but I'm going to say Genevieve is pretty intuitive.
Yeah,
especially when it comes to you.
Yeah.
I was going to give her advantage, but anyway. And you see, she kind of cocks one eyebrow a little bit and lowers her head to look through her eyebrows at you. Okay,
look, take a seat. And I'll kind of like pull up a stool next to her and go, look,
she sort of takes your hand and places it on your knee.
Look, we were working a case. There were some loose ends that we didn't quite tie up, and it kind of came back to bite us a little bit.
Okay, are you all right?
I'm fine, but if Regent hadn't have stepped in, you might not have been. I don't want to alarm you, but we're moving.
When?
Today.
Today?
Yes. I gathered as much of the personal effects as I could. I'm going to take you shopping for all new clothes. I grabbed most of the maternity wear. We'll have to deal with the other clothes and stuff after. Look, somebody was scoping out your house because they saw me go there the other night after the night shift. And one thing led to another. I arrived home to pick something up before I was coming to the appointment, and they had ransacked the place. We think it's thieves, but it's probably not safe for us to go back there again.
And your friend Reg, what did you call him? Regent? He introduced himself as Reg.
Did he now?
Yes, I assume must be a nickname, I guess.
Possibly. I just know him on a strictly business point of view. I call him boss.
Okay. Well, fuck. That's a lot.
Yeah. We had that discussion a couple of weeks ago that you said to me that as long as I don't lie to you, whether I kind of like skirt around the truth or not, you could probably see through it. I just kind of want to get past that, and I just want to be open with. I can't really tell you the ins and outs of the cases I work on, but like the other bits surrounding that, I just want to be honest with you.
I'm glad. And to be honest with you, if what you're telling me is true, that they tried to target me to get to you, then yes, maybe it's perhaps best that you don't fill me in on the particulars of your cases.
It wasn't that they were targeting you. They were just targeting the house that they thought I lived in. They knew nothing about you.
I see.
But if you were there, it could have been a victim of circumstance type deal, and that I couldn't.
Where are we moving?
We're moving to my house.
We're moving to Varvaden.
We are moving to Varvaden, yeah. You're going to live amongst people that are much more your standing.
Well, that's wonderful. I've always thought Varvaden would be a perfect place to grow up. I always wish I grew up there, but
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, garden, front and back, so you'll have plenty to do. Enough room for our little ones to run around and grow up. And
you've seen my garden, Arthur. I've not got much of a green thumb.
Well, we can get someone in to do it. I also have. Oh yeah, you need to meet Ithrandir. He can sort the garden out.
Who is Ithrandir? Was that one of your friends?
No, we'll get to that later. He is a friend. He's actually my oldest friend. But he kind of comes and goes whenever I ask him to.
Arthur, this is a lot, but fuck it. Yeah, okay.
And
fuck it.
Think about it. The catchment area within Varvaden, better rated schools.
Arthur, all I care about is that I'm with you, and we're together. That we're all together, and that we're safe. Is it bloody safe up there, at least?
Oh yes, yes. There is wards and things that I've put on the house. There is an alarm system in there that kind of signals to me when people break you. You're perfectly safe.
Okay. Then I believe you and I trust you.
Okay.
I will miss my little house, to be honest. Can I go back and get some things? Or I see you've got a couple of suitcases.
You tell me what you need, and I will send. It's a wreck, and I'd rather you don't like put yourself in. I don't know if anyone's watching. You tell me what. I tell you what. Let's go home after I've gone and dealt with some work stuff. You have a look through these cases. Whatever you're missing, you write me a list. I will make sure that that's fetched from the house.
Okay, sure. At this point, the doors burst open, and Lumiel, you come running in. You've obviously heard that the immediate danger has passed, but you're still concerned and not too aware of what's gone on.
Yeah, so she runs in and she kind of just stands, seeing this sort of very personal conversation with someone she doesn't know. But she is like looking Artemis up and down to make sure he's got. Oh, okay.
But as you burst in,
You mean me, Artorius?
Sorry, it's too similar. Fucking
Gil.
Artie, yeah.
Gil.
Yeah.
We need to change the nameplates.
Yeah.
Genevieve, this is Lumiel. She also works on our team.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh, I do love. Sorry, I love fairy folk. One of my old best friends was a fairy, and she was the most fun I've ever had, apart from with darling Arthur here. Sorry, your name was Lumiel?
Yes, it's a different type of fun, but I'm very fun too. And she reaches out a very small hand to shake.
She gets up from the chair and walks over to you, and you do see this sort of beautiful red-headed, kind of homely and kind face, but still very beautiful, and a slight bump on the stomach that she rests one hand on as she reaches the other out to you. A pleasure to meet you, Lumiel. I'm Genevieve.
That's a very beautiful name, and
as is yours.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Your friends are nice, Arthur. You should introduce me to them more often.
Well, I was thinking when we move into the house and we've got it all set up, we could maybe invite them all around.
Housewarming.
That's what I was thinking. You do throw a really good party.
We have a garden, she says to you, Lumiel.
I'm sure it's lovely. She goes to the and cuts herself off. I'm sure it's lovely.
Yes, well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. We've recently had to move. Sorry, should I not be talking about this? Do you work together?
Yeah, we're on the same team. Lumiel knows what's going on.
Oh, okay. Well, then I suppose I also have you to thank for whatever trouble this one's gotten into and out of.
Oh, it seems that he must have got out of it before I was able to help. But next time, definitely. Got my eye on him.
I appreciate that. I've got some bags to look through.
Yeah. Can you give me half an hour or so, or an hour or so, just to wrap some stuff up here?
What am I going to do? Go home?
That's true. Yeah. No.
I quite like this place. It's a bit dusty, but it's it's cozy.
You were playing cards with Reg.
Yes, he's awful.
Kind of point to the Minotaur behind the bar, and just go. Not so much a card player, I found. Maybe you can win around. Challenge accepted. See you shortly. You will, but don't call me shortly. And I'll just continue. I'll just kind of like walk off and walk upstairs. All 5'9" of me.
She giggles to herself as you sort of turn away, and as you're talking about the sort of half tiefling, half minotaur barman, you see he sort of smiles a little bit to himself. And as you're walking up the stairs, you turn back to look at Genevieve again, just to once again reassure yourself that she's safe. And you see that the barman has put a small glass on and is pouring out a small glass of fresh lemonade for her. Which seems to have a much softer appearance to than what that he's had for the rest of you so far. You guys head upstairs, and the regent is at the top of the stairs waiting by the door.
As I'm going upstairs, I'm going to tap my tail and go, Marcus, we're back at the house, by the way. Like
for fuck's sake.
like the house, not my house. Like the house.
No, I'm aware.
Oh, where are you?
I'm coming.
Okay, Regent's to the top of the stairs. And he's like, everything all right?
Yes, thank you. Reg, I owe you a debt.
Regent,
Thank you.
whatever. No need to thank me, Arthur. Anyway, come on in. We've got some stuff to talk about. And he just kind of knocks on the nose of the house's face, and good afternoon, Regent. He's like, yes, can I come in? He's like, of course. And he just starts to push on the nose, and the door goes, and as he's pushing on the nose and the door is coming back, the face is still saying, welcome to the house, as he's getting pushed out of the way. Regent walks in. The rest of you follow. He kind of walks to the front of the room. Just head on straight up when you're here, Marcus. Right. Well, I hope you've all managed to attend to whatever you needed to attend to over the past week. How are we all feeling?
All right. Has it been a week?
It's been about 5 days.
Yeah, no, fine. Can I just quickly take these to Ban and then...
Yeah, sure. We've got a few minutes while we wait for Marcus to get here.
Cool.
Actually, can I join you? I have something I asked.
You can carry this one.
She genuinely looks wide-eyed at you like...
Which one are you offering?
The one that's broken in half. It's fine. I was just joking.
Thank you.
Come on.
Okay. You guys head up to Bandolier, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you head into his room. He's sort of asleep on his chair.
Ban.
Oh, hello. You all right? Yeah.
Yeah, just thought you might find these interesting.
He gets up from his chair slowly and reaches over the counter of his desk, takes both of them in his hands. Unicycles.
Yeah, they were going extremely fast, so
Oh.
kind of mechanism in them. Some
He
kind of
kind of-
engine.
Takes a. Have you had a look at them yet?
No, I haven't had a chance yet. I was just thought I'd drop them off here and then we could have a look at them later, or you can look at them now.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I was a bit busy when you came in, but I can put some things aside and have a little look. Yeah. Give me like maybe like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I
Right.
might join you depending on what happens downstairs in this briefing, but
I wanted to talk to you actually about that project I've been working on.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be ready for some trials. You too, Lumiel. I've got a little bit of an idea for you.
Oh. Idea?
Yeah. These might help actually. And he holds up the two unicycles and kind of spins one wheel. Anyway, yeah, come back to me in a couple of hours. I've got some tinkering I need to do. Was there anything else you needed, or?
Not from me.
I had an idea. So, and she kind of rummages around in her pocket and she pulls out her pan flute. She's like, so I've recently figured some things out that I didn't know before, and I'm trying to figure out a way of possibly maybe strapping this thing to my arm.
Okay. Have you tried belts?
My belts are a bit big for my arm and it kind of falls off, but I want to be able to play it and still use my hands.
Oh, I
thinking,
see what
like,
you're getting. Almost like a sort of
cuff or
like a cuff or
bracer,
a lever
yeah.
action or something like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, I can probably figure something out. It shouldn't take me too long. Backpack. Yeah, boss. He pops up with his little pinstripe thing, and he's now wearing a little trilby crook to the side.
His face drops.
Can you get out a couple of those 2.0 hinges for me, please? It's like, yeah, boss, what for, mate? He's like, oh, we're just gonna try to help Lumiere out. Something goes and turns to look at you with a grumpy face.
Match his face.
He scrunches his face up even more.
I match his face.
His face loosens. Give me an intimidation check. Contested against his.
Jesus.
Who's gonna win the squint? The squint off. The squint off. Yeah.
Sneer off?
Sneer off. Yeah, I like that better.
One's gonna get the cramps.
Intimidation. +2, so that's a 13.
13. Okay, well, he rolled a 7, and he's a kobold, so you won. And he kind of... You're not all sunshine and rainbows like the other fey folk, are you? Got a little bit more backbone.
When I have to be.
2.0 hinges, coming right up, boss. And he backflips off the system, and you hear a crash as if something's just fallen into a pile of junk.
Do you need me to leave this here? For sizing and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she just slides the pan flute across. Sure.
Yeah, it should only take me a few minutes. These might take me a little bit. It looks like there's some components in here that might require a little bit more care. So, give me a little bit more time with these. But yeah, your little wrist flute thing I should have done in 2 shakes of a cow's tail.
Okay. We'll leave you to it.
Thank you. See you soon.
And she heads out.
Leans back into his chair, closes his eyes again. You head back down, and by this point, Marcus, you have arrived. Sweaty, very tired. And you all gather back in the briefing room. And the Regent steps up before the rest of you. And he asks, "Look, I know a lot of you have a lot of questions. Believe me, we do too. I think before we get too deep into things, I have a question for you all, though. Why do you think you're all here? And I don't mean the obvious, to fight those things, to solve crimes. I want to know why you, as individuals, think you're here."
Because if I wasn't, I would be in jail.
What?
Is that not the same for everybody? Okay, never mind.
He sort of
I mean-
scans the room, waiting for one of you to speak up.
For me, it's because I'm sure you know something about my past that I didn't let on, that is connected to what's going on. Not that I'm expendable, but I might have more reason to throw myself into this than others.
Interesting. What about you, Jax?
To give myself some kind of purpose.
And had you not a purpose before you came here? Have we given you a purpose?
No, but my purpose is being made more clear. I guess. I thought I had a purpose for a long time. Sometimes things get shattered. Slowly getting a purpose again.
As you say, like, things get shattered, you do see he's like looking inquisitively at you, but his expression softens. And he looks to the floor for a moment. and just nods his head. Marcus?
I don't know. I guess you need a blunt instrument.
And Gil?
I don't like the way you say my name. Because I gotta go somewhere. Because what I can do and what I know and what apparently I can see can't just be left to the wider world or jail or whatever the government wants to do with me. So they keep moving me around until I am safe and out of the way and not, getting into things I shouldn't be getting into.
Well, some of you are right, some of you are wrong, some of you are part of the way there. We need people who can stand up to authority and challenge the status quo for the greater good. We need those who have knowledge as well as bravery and the will to make the hard sacrifices. We need those who know the difference between being good and being well behaved. We need those willing to do anything in the pursuit of the safety and sanctuary of the ones they love. And then finally, as he's scanning over you, as he's saying these things, seeming to attribute one line to each, he finally comes to rest his eyes on Gil. And we need those with the mental fortitude to face the horrors behind the curtain of our reality. What do you lot know about the cosmos? About the planes, about outer realms, and things like that?
Immediately looking towards Gil.
I've heard people curse the 7 or 9 planes of hell or whatever it is.
Indeed. And you yourself draw power from a faith, I assume? A faith that exists on a higher plane than ours?
Yeah, but we're not really on talking terms at the minute.
Yeah, you'll probably find that to be the best way of doing things, to be honest. See, I like to think of the planes and the cosmos like a fried egg.
Of course you do.
Now you got the yolk. That's the material realm. That's the important bit. And then you've got the elemental planes all around it. That's the white. Feeding the center with everything the natural world needs. And then above, you've got the hungry gods, dipping in with their knives and forks, moving things around, adding their seasoning, taking away, plucking out the bits that they enjoy. And then below...
Really? The yolk is the important part?
Well, the material plane. That's where we are. It's important to us, I know that, and it's important to everything else around it.
But why the yolk?
It's the
Clearly not
best
into
bit.
protein.
I can't be dwelling on.
I'm trying to make a...
Listen, the meth was great, but I really can't dwell on the thought of eggs for too long, because otherwise I'll start feeling a bit sick.
All right, well, let me finish. And then below you've got the frying pan. The burning heat. That's the lower plane side you spoke about, Artorius. But that's the thing, isn't it? The yolk sits in the white sits in the pan, but the pan sits on a table, the table sits in a kitchen, the kitchen in a house, and the house in a village. There are worlds beyond our simple little cosmos, and there's a lot of nasty things out there that eat eggs for fucking breakfast. What about history? You guys know much about history? Any history buffs in the crowd?
I know a little.
Yeah. How far back do you go?
just what interests me, really. I like to read books, so anything interesting.
And
The further
about
back you go, the fewer books there are.
read about the calamity, or the hearsay of what happened at the calamitous time.
Now we're talking. Now we're going back. The calamity. What about before that? Do you know anything about before that?
Well, no, nobody does. That's why it's called the calamity.
Nobody. Interesting.
Not as far as I know.
Not as far as you know. There you have it. Interesting. Well, I need to give you a little bit of a history lesson, but before I do, has anyone got any questions for me about what has transpired over the last couple of weeks?
Loads.
Well, go on then. Now's your chance. I've been tight-lipped up until now, but I'm ready to show my hand.
How did you know about the door?
He looks over at Artemis. Because I've seen him close it before.
How many times have you seen me do this?
End of last week was the second time.
Artemis, you've done this before. When was the
There's no
last time?
It's no use asking him.
When was the last time?
I
Did he-
don't know, Arthur. I don't know.
Reg, when was the last time you closed the door? And you see that Artorius' brow is furled at this point, and he is, deathly staring now at the Regent.
It's about... Well, Artemis, how long back can you remember?
I don't know. I don't know in scale of time. It's I remember vague outlines of what I did before it happened. It was a mission for the Crown Service. I was sent out to a small village somewhere. I don't know what it was called or where it was, but I know that there was a very bright light that came, and then I was swallowed up. And then I was back. And I was like this, and I didn't start out like this. It was a couple of years, a few years, something.
Not
I
quite.
don't know.
It was a year and 4 months ago.
Only a year ago.
DM,
I know you're
DM.
going to ask me.
does that line up with my timeline?
No, you
No,
would have been in
okay.
You would have been in Valvaris already by that point.
Right, okay.
You've been here for a couple of years.
Artemis was about to lose a foot.
Bring it on, motherfucker. I'll take you to school.
That incident is what led us to our current pursuits and told us a lot of information about our enemy. And Artemis was able to stop what they were doing, but it took a toll on him. He became the man you see before you today. A part of him was lost, or perhaps taken. We still don't know.
So, wait, so people have known that this has been going on for only a year, and so what was okay, this is a lot. What was taken from me?
A part of
Okay.
yourself.
You say that this is...
Part of it was taken.
Well, you've known about this enemy for over a year. Over
We've
2?
known.
Over 3? How long have you known?
We have been fighting against this force in whatever form it takes for many years. Many. I have been directly involved in that pursuit for the past 8 years.
And have you ever succeeded?
Well, it depends what you call success. There have been successes and there have been failures. I would say, for example, what happened in here the other day was a success. I would also say that what happened with Artemis a year and a half ago was also a success, but with every success there are sacrifices made that may make it feel like a defeat for others. But it's all in the pursuit of figuring out what's coming.
Are there others like me? Have there been others like me? Closing the doors every time?
From what we know, yes, there are others like you. Now, whether they see the same door or whether they're visions and they're whatever beckons them, whatever form that might take, seems to be based on the individual. Rather than
one of them.
Oh, Effie? No. Effie is she's a conduit to one of our benefactors and one of our allies. You'll learn more about her soon.
Is this one of the hungry gods with knives and forks above the egg?
No, far from it.
So, Regent, we're a cell in this organization, right? Do you operate one part of a bigger moving machine? Because you couldn't possibly have any impact on the goings on elsewhere. These incremental attacks or incidents by these individuals haven't just happened here, have they? You've said that Artemis 1 year and so a few months ago it was away from here. The same incident, very similar, happened to me back in Lucis 2 years ago. So it's not in an isolated place. So what is the correlating theme here, Regent, and who else is on this trail?
Arthur, there was a reason why I was waiting at your place earlier today. In fact, it's lucky I was there. Hadn't I been, we might not have known about these thugs coming to try and abduct your missus. The reason I was there is because I wanted to talk to you about that. But I want to talk to you about that in private, if you don't mind. To answer your question, yes. This does not appear to be focused in on Valvaris. There are other instances around Aerilon. The common thread between each is that these entities that were here seem to be attracted to those of psionic ability. For what reason? I don't know.
Okay, so that's the reason you're here, Gil.
Okay, so
That's the reason you're all here. You're not just here because of your psionic ability. You're not a piece of bait, Artemis. In fact, you are the only one I've seen who's been able to single-handedly close that gap in the seal.
how many gaps are they? From when I worked with the Ministry of Seals, there's a lot of doors that push against our plane of reality during different points in time. Are they all pushing at once? Is it different people trying to get through different ones, or is it all the same individual? Do these knights follow all the ruptures, all the rifts, all these breaches?
I wish I could tell you, but the truth of the matter is we don't know. Every encounter teaches us more. I can't tell you what they are. I can't tell you how they work. But I might be able to give you some idea of what they were.
Okay.
So come on. History.
Well, I barely remember a year ago, so I'm out of this question.
Very well. Well, like you said, Arthur, the Calamity was a very long time ago. It's got many other names, but we'll go with the Calamity. Before even that, though, there was another age, another time. Some call it the Founding, some call it the Dawn Age. Different scholars have different names. But it was a time when gods walked among primordial mortals, and the weave was only just being spun. The magic flowed across the plains like a thick fog, and the plains themselves had not yet been fully separated and formed. This amalgamous mess of our world. In the land we now know as Valvaris and Aerilon, it's written that there was a society of primordial mortals made up of two ancient arcane orders who aided the gods in forming their infant domain. The Umai and the Daima. Now, these two societies coexisted together in these lands. The Umai believed that through careful planning, encouragement or manipulation, and through order, they could architect a world that reached no perfect potential. Whereas the Daima, they believed that chaos, the elements unbound, and survival of the fittest was what was needed for the world to reach its apex. And despite their divergent ideas, this dualistic society eventually settled that the only correct answer to the equation was the combination of both creeds. And through their alliance of balance, they began shaping their surroundings into the world that would become what you see around you today. Varied, symbiotic. Now, here's where you really need to start paying attention, because among the Daima, there was an extremist sect known as the Keen. That's Qiin, for anyone writing it down. And through their rituals and studies, they discovered a place outside the plains. Beyond the pan, beyond the kitchen table, beyond the village. Acting apart from the alliance of balance, they sought to contact and draw power from this realm. But in doing so, their minds were contorted by the madness of what lay beyond. The Umai and the Daima resolved to find a way to seal away this place and all that inhabited it, lest it seeps in and consumes the world that they nurtured, as well as all those around, beside, above, and below it. So too would be the fate of the treacherous Keen. Locked away in what those in the know have taken to call the Far Realm. Which brings us to today. While the efforts of the Umai and Daima did rid them of the immediate threat, the seal was not complete, and slowly, over the ages and centuries, it seems to have begun to fray. Through our observations and our work that we do here, we have reason to believe this may be either in part or entirely down to the efforts of whatever now remains of the ancient Keen, having been locked away in wailing madness for most of the ages of this world. So those are the big bullet points. Again, this isn't information that is going to make you any more safe. The reason that this has been kept, and the reason I'm telling you this now with the understanding that you will not share this information with anyone else is so that you can know your enemy a little bit more. But the mere knowledge of the far realm is often a death sentence. You must tell no one. Should anyone try to seek the far realm like the Keen once did, they could either suffer the same fate or open the door themselves.
And which one do you serve? Umai or Dama?
I serve neither. I serve one. I serve all. But I am assisted by one of the only entities within our cosmos who truly knows the far realm. You'll come to meet them one day, but you're not ready.
Is that what's on the 6th
It's
floor?
like
Well observed, Gil. The 6th floor is not part of this building, nor is it part of this plane of existence. The 6th floor is a meeting hall for those with a vested interest in the continuation of our cosmos.
Okay.
Now, don't get too bogged down by all that. I know it's all very, big picture stuff. The work we have to do is on a much more macro level. For now, at least. Any questions?
How you talk of contacts and other people, and how many people know? How many of you are of us? I guess are there?
Well, I mentioned at the end of our last case that there are a few benefactors and interested parties, but they are few, at least on this plane. And because of our shared mortal fragility, they are, for their own safety and security, kept anonymous. But there are others who help from behind the curtain, from below and above. A unlikely alliance of forces for which we represent a share of that alliance on the mortal coil.
anybody else needs a drink after this?
I fucking do.
So,
Sorry,
no, you go.
No.
Just two questions from my end. Do you have any of these other glorified psionic doormen that I can talk to or contact to maybe see what their experience is with this? Or am I the only one?
He stops and he looks over to Arturius. And then back to Artemis. You're the only one we've been able to save.
Oh, that's okay. That's
Well,
not
Technically,
Well-
you're the only one who's managed to save themselves. That we know of, at least.
okay. That's
What their
That sounds
reason for needing people like you, whether it just makes you an easy target, or whether they need you for some other purpose. It could be that your psionic abilities make you easier to detect, and for the rest of us who aren't so connected, they can't even see us until they get through.
Here's
We
an
don't know whether
odd,
you're the target
crazy-
or whether you're the portal.
Yeah, here's an odd, crazy thought. If you're able to close the door, maybe they need people like you to open it.
They were doing a pretty good job of pushing it open when I got there. I don't know if but I was going towards it. I was going towards it when it was opening, so maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just they need a tethered link to the mortal coil.
The
And
bigger
because my
question,
mind is open to it. Sorry.
No, you're right. And I think one of the bigger questions here is what lies beyond that door.
That is a question I think it best for all of us to never learn the answer to. Because once you know what's beyond the door, you're through the door, and you might end up just like the Keen. We need to keep it closed. We need to keep the book sealed. We need to keep the gate locked. Whatever form it comes in, they're trying to get through, and we're going to do everything we can to stop it. Yes, Lumiel.
So we're patching a broken fence.
We are looking out for the fence posts to break and hammering them full of nails before they do.
Can't we build?
Don't worry, Artemis. We're not going to put any nails in here.
Can't we build a better fence?
A smile creeps across his face. Well, the Umai and the Damer tried once. And like I said earlier, some things that feel like a success to others may feel like a failure to others. They might have felt like they succeeded. I consider them to have fucking failed. Because they left something behind, and now that something seems to want to get back. So yes, Lumiel, ultimately, it would be good if we could find a way to build a better fence.
Marcus, you made a good point before that if Gil here is the key to shutting doors, then he also possesses the capability of opening them. And if what the Regent says that they're looking for people with innate psionic abilities, then surely at this moment, Regent, you have tabs on everyone in the city that might have these innate psionic abilities. Because I imagine it's not just Gil, right?
Actually, the AOB does keep such a monitor on psionic abilities. Indeed, there are others with psionic abilities, but this one is different. We've scoped out a number of people with such abilities, and they've come up to be completely benign, whether they draw their psionic abilities from the weave itself or some other innate natural ability that they have. Few, however, have displayed the abilities that Gil has, and that some of the other subjects that we've monitored have.
And what makes them different?
We don't know, only that they can hear them.
That they can hear them?
That they can hear the voices of the Keen. I don't know how they're chosen. I don't know when they are chosen or why.
Would there be anyone with that information? Anyone who's studied it?
Fortress is able to detect that in people. Like I said, she is a conduit to another benefactor of ours, one that knows the far realm better than most in this cosmos.
At this point, you can kind of see Gil's hands, like on the desk he's leaning against, start to like scratch into the wood ever so slightly as his head kind of moves a little jerkily as he seems to be trying to think of something. He's like, oh, okay. So, why do you keep me conscious or not like sealed away in some way so that my mind cannot be opened? Wouldn't it be a safer thing to shut me down and then maybe look at these other psionic people and see if they appear up, and then you can start tabbing things? But if I am the one who's going to do this, shouldn't I just sort of be like out of commission?
That probably makes it worse, Gil. Have you ever not done the thought experiment? Don't think about a blue elephant.
If I can't think, if my mind is completely shut down and I am just a non-entity, but I know this thing,
But if you're in isolation, isn't the only thing that keeps you occupied your thoughts? Isn't it better to have you active and physically
don't
doing
mean
things?
Fully shut down.
I don't
No.
mean isolation, Marcus. I mean you put me into stasis. Like, my mind is not working. I am not physically conscious at all, in any way, shape, or form. I cannot be reached by this plane or any other because my mind is gone.
I
So why don't
appreciate
we do that?
Don't you have to kind of be conscious to fight it? If you're not
But
conscious,
if I'm not conscious, they can't use me to open
you don't
more
know
rifts.
that.
Well,
Let me put it one simple way for you.
Hmm.
There have been people, units, cells in the past who have agreed with you. And what's the best way to stop a brain thinking? Kill the person who's got it. We think of things a different way. And especially since what happened a year and a half ago, we think that turning what they want against them may be the only way.
Despite these old theories, we don't know for sure if you're the only one who can open these rifts, or even if you can open these rifts.
And
What
even,
if-
And even so, like, is that the last one that happened a year and a bit ago, and obviously the other day, or how is this happening right now elsewhere, and we just don't know?
All we know for certain is that you're the only one who can close them.
Like I said, the people with this particular innate connection and the way that it manifests are few and far between. We're able to find out where they are. Sometimes they're far, sometimes they're near. And we have always endeavoured to bring them into our protection. That was our goal for a long time, was to gather, to protect, but not to kill, and not to mute or dull. We want to protect. We want to study. We want to learn the best way to stop what they're trying to do and what they're trying to bring through.
And what have you learned so far? Because if it is just a hope that the next time this happens, you're hoping that Gil here can step up and shut the door again. I don't put much stock in hope anymore.
What about faith? Because I've got every faith in our man here that he'll be able to close whatever door they put in front of him. Especially with all your help.
I have to
Amount
admit,
of
it felt
bacon
kind of
water.
sick to be able to crush a hand.
What if I train, Arthur? What if I become this thing they need me to be to keep these things closed?
And I will stand by you every day in every way that I can to ensure that happens, if that's what you want to do, Gil. But it has to be your choice, not because you're being asked of it. You take the
Artorius
choice
is right.
out of the equation, and then it's just an order. And then you're just a tool. And you're not that, Artemis. You are free to make your own choice. But if you do choose this path, then I will choose it with you. And I will stand by you.
It's not as free a choice. I understand what you're saying, but I need to be the one to close it because you have your lovely wife and baby on the way, and Jax has his cats, and I don't know what Marcus and Lumiel have, but I'm sure there's something, and we all have things to...
I nearly shouted out drugs and rickets. I don't know what... I don't know what came over me.
I mean, I get the drugs, but rickets?
You just can't fucking stand still, can you? What? Sorry.
You've all got things to fight for, but equally so, you've all got parts to play. Artemis, you're a key part to what we're doing here, but you're not the only one. Like I said earlier, we need people for many reasons, and you all fit those requirements. But Artorius is right. This has to be a choice by you. I asked you before. This is the deep end that we're jumping in now, and I needed to know you're all committed. You told me you were. Knowing what you know now, has that changed?
I immediately turn to face Artemis.
No, it's not changed. It can't change. It's the right thing to do. I want to help. I want to save people and not be, whatever this is. So yeah, let's do it. Let's fix the rift in the universe and save people, lives, lots of them.
Well, once you've mastered closing the gate, then we can start building the fence, can't we, team?
Someone else is going to have to put the nails in, or thumbs.
I know someone with a very big hammer.
I bet you do, you dirty bastard.
He wipes some sweat from his greasy forehead.
Marcus does the same.
Just a couple of greasy boys.
Well, if Artemis is in, then so am I.
The rest of you?
Why not?
Well, I don't have anything else to do, so why not save the world?
Oh, that's a relief. Marcus?
Well, nobody else has a hammer.
I could wield a hammer if I tried.
You couldn't wield my hammer even if you tried your hardest.
Is that what they call sexual tension? I've never. I don't know.
Yeah, and even I can see it.
Taste in the air. It's horrible.
Well, I
Luigi,
presume.
how about that drink?
Oh yeah, I presume this is leading somewhere.
It is, yes. You completed your first case to a wonderful degree. Very pleased, as were some of the interested parties that I mentioned. Now, Jax, like I told you, these parties tend to remain anonymous for their own safety. But there are some exceptions to that. These precautions can't always be followed, especially in certain situations. One of those situations is in the event of death or disappearance. You see, one of our benefactors, and a dear old friend of mine, has recently gone missing. And as one of the few people in the know about what we do here, that is a direct concern of ours. If they have gone missing due to their knowledge of what we do here, or for any reason linked to our pursuits, that means that someone has information they shouldn't. His name is Waldron Barbazan. He has been a contributor to this project for many, many, many decades. Before I took over.
I know that name.
Yeah, me too.
He's an author, right?
yeah, I suppose you could call him that, yeah.
He's not only an author, he's the former commissioner of the Argent Star.
Bloody hell, you do know your history. You should have fucking raised your hand.
I thought he retired.
Not quite.
He must be like what, 100? 104?
He's 278.
Wow.
That's gnomes for you.
He's been around for a very long time. And he's protected Valvaris throughout those years. The father of modern arcane forensics, some people called him.
Yeah, I found a... Wasn't he head of, like, the AOB division?
That's correct. Arcane Oversight Bureau. He's one of the founders of the forensic division in their sector. All that kind of stuff. Decades ago used to all be handled by Argent Star, but He founded many techniques for arcane forensics. In fact, he's been one of the ones helping us for a very long time discover the whereabouts and information about some of the subjects that we've been trying to protect. He's the one who told us about you, Artemis.
Wonderful.
But as of yesterday morning, he's been missing. His manor up in Highcrest, he hasn't left. He rarely does. For a very long time. But his house staff came to deliver him breakfast yesterday morning and found him gone. No trace. There are, according to reports from the dogs, who have already been up to check out the situation. In fact, House?
Yes, Regent.
Would you bring down the dogs, please?
Of course, sir.
They've been looking around the place and they say that it's not too tightly locked down. It's not been long, so they've not started too much of their investigations yet with the Crown Service or the Argent Star, but I know Barbazan. He doesn't just disappear like this. He was due in a check-in this morning with me, but he never showed. Something's wrong. We're going to check in on some of the other people who have knowledge of what we do here to see if they've heard anything from him or investigate to see if they had any involvement. What I need you lot to do is figure out if it was something else. Barbazan doesn't tell me everything. We all tend to keep to ourselves, unless it's matters that the division requires us to share. So if this was something outside of our organisation, I need you lot to find out. If it was something from within, leave that to Effie and I.
Any word, Reg, on what he was working on before his disappearance?
Same thing he's been working on this whole time. Trying to detect, put together the pieces to see where one of these new psionic minds might be emerging, or whether one of these attacks from the ancient Keen has been perpetrated. He's good at putting together the pieces and seeing through the noise.
Were you fairly familiar with him?
Very. He's been my friend for, well, a long time.
Do you want me to try and send a message to him?
I have tried that through my various means. I can't do the whole brain thing that you can do, but I know people who can. But by all means, I'd like to see you make an attempt.
Well, it's something I need to, it's more of an idea I've had at times, because sometimes I don't know people, but I want to try and message them. If I can, if you can show me some of your memories of him and I can get if I can familiarize myself with him, just by looking at sort of surface thoughts that you want to show me of this guy, I can try and send a message to him via, psionic subwaves.
I can't let you do that, Artemis.
Yeah, that's fair. I wouldn't pry. I'm not going to dick around in your mind. I know better.
Can you work from an image or anything, Gil? Or do you have to know the person?
It's vague, but I have to feel like I kind of know them. It's familiarization, so I have to know enough about them to be able to.
I've read basically everything that you can read.
But if you met him, I think I have to. It's better with physical sort of interaction with the person. If it's just information, then I don't know if I can do it. It's fine. It was just an idea. We'll do it the old-fashioned way.
Regent, if you really do want to find your friend, at the risk of Gil stumbling upon one of your skeletons that you've got tucked away in that closet of yours, is it really best just to not let him do this? Let's say he gets familiar, sends a message out, and knows exactly where he is. That cuts our investigation down, that gets us the source. Really, Regent, if you're not willing to do this, how committed are you to this?
Fuck you, Arthurius.
Yeah, alright,
Don't
that last bit was a bit too far, I get it.
Don't ever question my commitment to what we're doing here. You have no fucking clue, my friend. He's getting... He that touched a nerve with the Regent.
Good. What I was going for.
Make me a persuasion check with disadvantage, please.
Ooh. I don't think that's going to be good enough, but we'll see. Persuasion. Oh, that's not bad. 13.
13. It's not the skeletons in my closet that I'm worried about. And there are many, and I'll happily share them with all of you. It's certain knowledge I possess which could put Artemis in great danger. Just by knowing it. More so than already he is. And with that in mind, Artemis, I'll leave the decision to you.
Well,
if you can resist peering deeper in, then I'll give you what I know of him. At least who to look for, the face, the essence of the man. I know him very well.
When you say put me in danger, do you mean it will kill me, or people will come after me if I know it, or you'll kill me for knowing it? Is it death that's the problem, or is it worse?
Whatever connection these things have to those of psionic ability, the connection appears to grow the more knowledge they have of the Keen and the Far Realm and what they've become. I've told you what I have been able to discern to be safe for you to know without attracting any more attention from them. Like I said, I can tell you who they were, but not what they are.
That would have been really interesting to know, because I might have just started trying to dig into things. Okay, so the more I know, the more they know about me, and the more they can see me. Okay, so it's knowledge basically. I won't look into. I will only. You can show me what you want to show me. I will never pry, dig, or otherwise invade a mind that does not want to be invaded. It was something I swore I would never do after a couple of months of doing it unintentionally. So I will only look at this guy's mind. I will only look at, Walburn, because I want to... If I can get a message to him, and he can send me one back, it might help you find your friend again. Regent.
He walks towards you and kind of just looks down at you. He removes his glasses and lets them hang from like a little string that he has around his neck.
The glasses, they don't look like the Ray-Bans, do they? These are just like... I imagine
they
they're
don't,
like gold.
They don't look like the same. They don't look like the same thing.
No, okay. But are they shades?
No, they're glasses.
Okay, no, yeah. I imagine they were like sort of like very thin gold frames with the huge things on them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, look, I have to trust you, okay?
And I trust you. Gil.
Now, after all this, I know you're trying to help me, so I promise I will not go further than the images you wish to show me. So just think of this guy.
Recommend you do not.
I ain't gonna. I don't want to know. If it's gonna kill us all, it's better that I don't know. And he doesn't much place hand to his head. He just sort of like holds one up, and just with a first level detect thoughts. Artemis is just going to essentially whatever the Regent wants to show him of Walburn is all he will take from this. But he wants to just try and get a certain familiarization as he sort of like gives, and he's like, just think of like simple stuff when you had drinks together, when you were talking, jokes, that kind of thing. Make it more personal than business, and I will get a familiarization with them, and then it'll be easier.
As you begin to describe these different situations in which to think, you do start to receive flashes of imagery in your head of a dwarf. Sorry, not a dwarf, a gnome, who in these various images that you see is wearing sort of leathers with lots of straps. He's got a spiky flash of hair, but it's curious because in the different flashes that you see, first you see what you think might be a middle-aged gnome of maybe maybe 100 or 20, 150 years. Later images you see of sitting around a fire, drinking brandy, a much older gnome. Much older. Potentially decades later. But still, in all times, they're sitting and drinking, they're laughing, they're playing cards. Occasionally they're looking over maps of Aerilon and things like that.
Okay.
So you get quite a strong sense of the person.
Yeah.
But it's confusing that it seems like two different people, or big gaps in the ages of these memories.
Okay. Sort of just keep shutting the hand and allowing the connection to break. Like friends. Thank you.
Very old friends.
Okay. Let me see if this works. So and sort of closing his eyes, he kind of places hands out ever so slightly, and from the back of his head you see like the psionic energy come across his hair as it waves ever so slightly, and then these little straight lines that sort of go up into like a little four-poster thing with then what like little zigzags running between it, and then like a little radar dish just comes out the top. They come out of the thing and just
Love that.
And as he sort of puts his hands together, sort of across his sort of in just sort of like a almost like meditative position, but just sort of something to keep his hands in place. You see a sort of an outline of an eye just appear on his forehead, and using the spell Sending at 3rd level, he is going to reach out into the ether, and I have to do that. I've never done Sending before, so I have to do this in 25 or less. Waldron Barbazan. Waldron Barbazan. That's not stupid. I'm not saying that 4 times, just twice. Waldron Barbazan. My name is Gil. I work for the Regent. He is looking for you. How many have I got left?
You've got 9 left.
9.
Okay.
Hit me up, bae.
If you can, tell me where you are. And that'll be...
Thanks.
Please.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Okay, give me a second. Okay. For a while, you sit and wait. But there is no response.
Good effort, though.
Very good effort.
Um,
You don't get any understanding of whether this is gone through or if it's been stopped or blocked. The message is sent, but no reply is received.
okay.
And you're not
As he
sure
sort
whether
of holds his hands in this position for a while, and the sort of the neon of his powers just illuminates the room as it sort of glows every so often as the dish makes a turn, and it all just kind of dissipates back into the way it was. It comes around. It didn't work, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. It's sent, but I got nothing back. Whether he can or not, I don't know. He may not have trusted me. I used your name. Well, I used Regent. I hope you don't mind, but if someone's trying to get through in this manner, I would assume, you know.
Regent sort of raises from his squat at the front of your table and just puts a hand on your shoulder and then walks back to the center of the room. Well, looks like the investigation is afoot. Best place to start, I'd say, is at Barbazan Manor in Highcrest. Guys, if you'd like to pop over to Owlbear,
Maps.
not just maps, the map. For I have spent a couple of hours pissing around on Incarnate. You will see that on this map, the city is not a big open cobble street. This is a representative of the districts of Valvaris and some of the key locations which you guys have visited. So you'll see, for example, there is all of your houses are denoted on this map. Some of the key law enforcement agency headquarters are denoted, such as the Argent Tower. The Valvaris Skyport and Hempstead Industries is there. And O'Gromley's, which you blew up in the first episode. Well, Regent blew up in the first episode. Up here, you'll notice Barbazan Manor.
Okay.
This is your destination. But you can use
Here's
this...
the question, dear.
Yep.
Would I know where Barbazan Manor is located from
That is
my upbringing?
That is a decent question. I'm going to say, give me a history check. Just straight
Right.
history. And this is separate to the one I asked you for earlier.
So that is 24.
24. You know of it, yeah? It's not even that far away from where you grew up. Similar kind of area. So, there are staff still in the building. Oh, here they are. And the dogs walk in, kind of lumbering in. What did you want? Cram says. Don't be so harsh. What do you need, Regent? Oh yeah, you were up by the manor earlier, Barbazan Manor. What did you see? Can you inform our team here? Yeah, well, there were suits and stars coming around asking a couple of times, but doesn't seem like they locked the place down yet. There's no investigation or cordon around the house, but there are people showing up looking for Waldron, getting turned away by the staff.
The staff are turning them away.
Looked like it. I mean, we didn't knock ourselves. We're not usually the type of callers that come around that part of town. So,
Do the staff have the kind of power to turn away law enforcement?
well, rich people don't answer the door themselves, do they?
Well, no, but if the police come and knock in, you don't just say, go away.
No, we do.
It might be worth mentioning that we're not the police.
I suppose.
Will they answer the door to us?
I don't know. I don't make house calls. If they don't,
they know your name?
Well, they won't know my name, no.
What's the family situation like?
Waldron is a widower. His wife died about 40 years ago. He lives alone. He rarely takes guests, though he has a house big enough for it. He's got a couple of staff, from what I know.
Would he interact with politicians?
I don't think so. He never really was one for the bureaucrats.
Right, so
He liked to stick to his goal.
Do DM, from what I know of him, how recent is that information?
As far as you know, he's still an author. He's still writing books.
Okay.
He's released several novels over the past sort of 6-7 years.
Okay.
He's a fairly well-known writer to most who are readers.
Okay.
He's not like a you know. He's maybe not a J.K. Rowling, more a China Mayville or something like that. You know, he's a bit of a niche author. Funnily enough, not a lot of people in Valvaris read crime thrillers.
Don't understand it with so much crime.
There's so much crime, but maybe that's why people are just sick of it.
Yeah, maybe.
Sky Heaven's full of it, though.
Yeah. He's very popular in Sky Heaven.
Regent, which law enforcement agencies are aware of this missing persons case?
Well, for now, they've not declared it a missing persons case. But there have been inquiries made by the Crown Service and Argent Star. According to Lizaleth, right? Suits and Stars, they're the only one we saw.
Anyone in particular that you saw from the Argent Star?
Suits all look the damn same, but didn't seem any in particular. Is there someone you're looking out for?
No, just thinking which regiment it would be. Which
I would imagine the Highcrest Regiment. Or the Highcrest Precinct.
Was he supposed to do something, which is why he's suddenly considered missing? Like, if he's such a recluse, why do people think he's missing?
Well,
He wasn't at breakfast.
not a lot of people do think he's missing, but the staff say that he wasn't at breakfast and he was supposed to check in with me this morning about something that he'd been investigating.
Oh. So,
Lizaleth, can you get word to a member of the Crown Service for me?
I can try, sure. What do you need?
Can you...
Anyone in particular, or just drop it at the front desk?
No, I need word being sent to Sir Reynard to meet me at our usual place this evening around 8 o'clock.
I gotcha. No problem. Sir Reynard.
Thank you.
Anyone want me to deliver a message?
is what Arthur said.
You hear that set off my Google, my Siri just went off. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. Neither did anyone else.
Well, anyone got any ideas?
Who was the last known individual to have seen him, spoken to him? One of the staff members?
I would assume so, yeah. Like I said, he doesn't usually leave the house that often. Every now and then we link up and update each other, but he's a bit of a recluse. Likes to keep to his books and his writing.
Have you ever been to his house?
Personally, no.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to be linked to him by something as simple as eyes.
Odd question, probably, but you wouldn't happen to know who delivers his food? Do they go buy it at the markets? Or does it get home delivered?
I haven't got a bloody clue, but there's a line of inquiry that you might want to pursue. Now,
Anything else we need to know, Regent?
do not fucking tell anyone that we're connected. Do not tell anyone the truth about why you're inquiring about him. Do not tell anyone that he was connected in any way to this division. If this is some other reason he's gone awry, which I can't imagine it is, then we don't need anyone knowing that he was involved. Could put spotlights on our backs that we don't want. There was one other matter. Your little wheelie friends.
Oh, the one-wheel whippersnappers.
That's them, one-wheel whippersnappers. Quill's got some information about the local gangs. He might have some more information on those if you want to have a chat with him, but like I said before, there's bounties on the board. These people need to be taken care of, and Castilians don't seem to be fucking doing anything about it around here. So
I never
might
do.
be a way to pick up a bit of extra gold. But now it sounds like you've got a bit of a personal investment in it as well.
Well, maybe. All right. Well, anyone else got anything they want to ask, or should we just get to?
What about publishers?
Publishers? I don't know. I don't read.
At all?
Never read
No,
any
either.
of his books.
We have so much in common, Regent.
I have read every single one of the Detective Digby dungeon, and I really can't wait for the next one to come out. So I mean, if I keep an eye out for like a manuscript, that would be amazing.
Yeah, Lumiel, if you save him, you could be in it.
You genuinely see her like vibrate almost from excitement.
Told you, fucking rickets.
She starts fluttering half a foot up from the chair.
Oh, well, you know, I'm sure that, you know, he'll be most gracious for the help, and then, you know, add a valiant detective fairy into his next novel.
Just don't let him use your real name. Remember, I need you lot anonymous and off the grid.
But I will know, and they will know.
Exactly.
That's enough for me.
I mean, I've never heard of him, so it's okay.
So, would I know, DM, the publisher, since I have read the entire series of the Digby series?
Do you know the publisher of some of your favourite books that you've read in real life?
Yes, Penguin. Yes. Next question.
It's
Don't
something that you could probably very easily find out by going home and looking one of your collection.
Yeah. Okay.
The Digby Dungeon series might have been published by a different publisher than some of those other more adult books. Not adult in like the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, these are
less
young
PG books.
You gotta have some kind of hobby when you're 200 plus years old, I guess.
Yeah, right. So the Regent sort of rolls down the board to a fresh page, I guess. Is it a page of a board?
A fresh roll of chalkboard.
Yeah, a fresh roll of chalkboard. And it just writes up there the name of the guy, which I've for some reason blanked on.
Walden Barbara.
Yeah. How do you know that better than I do? I wrote this shit. Waldron Barbazan. And where is Waldron Barbazan? And then underlines it.
Oh, where's Waldo?
Right.
Hey! You can have inspiration! I was waiting for someone to figure that out.
I'll take it.
He says, alright, well then. I have every faith in you as usual, and please, I know I was a little bit hands-off in your case, but now I really mean it when I say my door is always open. We're in it together now. We're all on the same page. Let there be no lies between us, only trust. And our duty to this city, to this world, to this plane, and all others.
To make sure that no soldiers get into the yoke. I get it.
Exactly. No flies fly through the window of the kitchen and land in our breakfast.
I prefer the soldiers one.
Yeah, I
That was
prefer I like the fence analogy.
My analogies and my metaphors are second to none. Thank you very much.
Okay, Chris.
Fucking ham. Well then.
As soon as he said go on then, Artorius just stands up, walks immediately into the Regent's office and sits down.
Well, you said it.
Should we wait for you before we go then?
Yeah, I need to see Ban, and I need to then go home with my partner and that.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah.
What time is it, Marcus?
What time is it, DM?
Okay.
What time is it, Dan?
The time is like, so you did that, you thought that back. Okay, it's because it's been like a week since then. Why am I even trying to figure it out? It's 2 p.m.
So,
Right.
Nice.
2 p.m.
So,
Do
yeah.
you
On the
wanna-
dot in 3, 2, 1, now.
Do we want to
it's stupid.
do our own thing and then rendezvous and head to the Barberson house?
Sounds good.
I would appreciate you all getting on this as quickly as possible. It's only a matter of time before the.
Well, I'm just conscious of the fact that he's got to move his missus into a new place.
I mean, Arthur, let us out here, please.
I've literally just sat down, Matt. Do you know how hard it is for a blind person to maneuver around furniture?
You're not
It
blind.
kind of stands up, freely walks through all the other furniture, and just kind of goes to the door and goes, "Yeah."
I've forgotten the question. I was laughing.
His wife.
Yeah, that was it. We'll take care of your moving needs and make sure that she gets there safely.
Excuse me, sir. With all that hammer talk earlier, I don't fucking.
All right, well, can you at least...
I'm kidding, and I just kind of like, I just throw the key. I'm.
He grabs it. I'll make sure that she gets there safely and that things are nice and homely. You've got someone setting up the place already, right?
Yeah. How did you know that?
Always looking, always watching, always listening.
Oh, that must be nice for someone. He just kind of turns again and walks back into the room.
It's for your own benefit, trust me. And you, of all people, know that best now. Arthur, we'll have a chat at the end of today, if you don't mind.
As soon as his bum touches the seat, just okay, yeah, just stands straight back up again and walks back out, and it's just like, that would have been helpful before. Walks back to the rest of the group. Yeah, I'm ready now. Like, I need to go see Ban, and I'm good. Weirdly, my schedule just got cleared.
Preacher?
Go on, bring me up.
I have a bit of a pet situation, so they don't like it when my pet is at home. Can Candy come here and stay here?
And
What exactly is a candy?
Well, Candy could be many things, but mainly Corgi. A little fluffy dog that is the best dog.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, you can bring the dog here.
Hang on,
Thank
can
you.
I bring my cats?
Fuck no.
I have an allergy. Sorry.
You don't want Cran to be around your cats. He's got a sweet tooth for most other things.
Oh,
That's like Springfield.
can we keep all the pets out of like the meeting? I hate pet hair. It's just it gets everywhere. I don't like. Can we just keep them like away from like meeting rooms and stuff?
I trust you will all lock into your investigative and genius minds like you did last time after you get all this nonsense out of the way, right?
Who said I was a genius?
That's our method. We get the silliness and then we focus.
Okay, let's skip to that bit, shall we?
Okay.
All right, on you go.
Okay, sure.
I thought you enjoyed
I'm
the
not
yoking
sweet.
around.
Bish. All right. Well, like I said, my door's open at the end of today, Arthur. But I do need to speak to you.
I'll speak to you maybe tomorrow morning.
Sure.
Night. It will be tonight. Yeah.
I know it will.
I have to speak to Ban quickly. And then I'm ready if you guys want to head out.
I'll go and see what Quill has to say about our one-wheeled friends.
Jax, do you think Ban would be finished with my thing? He didn't seem like that it would take too long.
I don't know, but you may have got distracted. So, like, if you don't need it,
I just thought while we're here, but
we're gonna be here later, though, probably.
that's true.
It's up to
Probably
you.
need to do an all-nighter, I think.
Cool. Does anyone want to check the board for this reward that the one-wheeled whippersnapper leader is going to give us?
I'll do that. That was with Quill, wasn't it?
No, it said there's
Yeah.
notices on the board, I thought he said.
Yeah, there's
Well,
notices
it's
by
bounty.
the chalkboard. Yeah, but information about the gangs can be got from Quill. Okay. So you all head up. Is it Jax and Arthur going to Bandolier?
No, I'm just gonna vibe.
Just vibe?
Until I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for everybody.
All right, cool.
Um,
So, Arthur, you go up to Bandolier. And he's sitting there tweaking away with like a little wrist strap thing. Oh, you're right, Arthur. How's it going, mate? You're right.
Yeah, good. I just kind of keep this pretty quick. Are we any closer to the thing about the thing?
The thing about the thing?
Yeah, you know, the thing that I asked you to sort out for me?
Yes. Remind me.
But
Right, yeah, hang on. And he pulls out and puts this great sword onto the desk. It's a little bit of a different model from what you're used to. I hope you don't mind. It's not quite as shiny, but it's definitely sharp.
Okay.
But if you come here, and he grabs your hand and he puts your hand on the handle of it.
Mm-hmm.
He says, right, lift it up. Don't point it at me. Don't point it at me.
Yeah.
Okay. Now give it a flick and then push that thing up. You see that thing by your thumb?
Yeah. Do I see that? Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Can you feel that thing by your thumb?
Yeah, and I flick and I push the thing up.
Okay, you flick and the handle of the greatsword extends, and the greatsword itself goes and separates into segments, curves, and then relocks into a 10-foot long scimitar.
A scythe,
Not
right?
scimitar, scythe. A 10-foot long scythe. Thick bladed scythe.
Fuck yes. Oh.
Is that sort of what you were looking for, or?
Oh, Ban, I swore that I'd never love anyone again after I met my partner, but you are coming close, sir. You are extremely talented.
Thank you. Not interested.
Until you are. And then he kind of like runs his hand, not along the blade bit, the sharp edge, but kind of runs it and goes, okay. And then and just snap it back and it...
You click and you see this thing almost like it extends before it straightens and retracts into the solid blade. So it's almost like it comes apart in segments, straightens back up, and then gets pulled down into the solid greatsword that you're used to. The handle retracts up to the usual two-handed.
Excellent. Thank you.
Can do a lot of things with a bright idea. That was a particularly fun one, actually.
And thank you. I appreciate this.
You're all right. Yeah.
And
No
I pick
worries.
the scabbard up and attach it.
If you've got any other bright ideas, just let me know.
In fact, whenever I get into confrontational situations, I want to be harder to hit.
Are you fast?
Not fast.
Should we try and get faster?
Good talk, man. Thanks for the sword. And just
He's like, oh yeah, okay, bye.
I kind of meant by magical means.
Oh, okay. I'll mull it over. I'll see what I've got.
And I just kind of like walk out of the room and just go, is it me? I feel like it's me. And just kind of like walk down the hall and down the stairs to join the rest of the group.
Before we get to the rest of you making your preparations before you head up to High Crest, we're going to go for a little break. Thank you for joining us, everyone, for this first part of Sins of the Peacekeeper, where lots of things have been revealed about the nature of what's going on, and lots to mull over there. Lots of notes to review, hopefully.
There are pages upon pages.
Cool. You might want to share those with people who didn't write any.
Maybe, if I'm feeling generous, I don't know.
But yeah, thank you for joining us for this first part. We're going to go get drinks. We're going to go have a little rest. We're going to be back in 10 or 15 minutes. Stick around. We'll be back soon. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Aerilon Sins of the Peacekeeper unfolds in the expansive metropolis of Valvaris. It's the crown jewel of Aerilon. Some might consider the capital city of the wider Aerilon, and it's often referred to as the oldest city Valvaris has grown significantly and exponentially over the previous centuries, expanding far beyond its original walled boundaries. Unlike typical Dungeons and Dragons city settings, which often sort of focus on a singular or just a couple of themes, like Waterdeep being a bastion of trade and opportunity, or Candlekeep being, a fortress of scholarly pursuits. Valvaris is a diverse metropolis where one can discover a myriad of experiences, pursuits and creeds across its many districts and boroughs, each almost like a city within the city itself. Due to its immense size, significance, diversity of population, range of industries, Valvaris requires a multifaceted approach to law enforcement and national security. Various law enforcement and military entities work collaboratively, or sometimes in opposition with one another, to maintain order and safety for the city and its millions of inhabitants. The members of our party each come from one of these peacekeeping organisations, each forcibly reassigned, shall we say, from their original roles to a clandestine division that prioritises autonomy and plausible deniability in their pursuit of justice and Valvarian security. When I first came to the group with Aerilon, Sins of the Peacekeeper, one of the main things I wanted to get across was that I wanted them to start out, at least, with characters who are deeply flawed. They're in this position for a reason, and I don't think anyone's quite taken that idea and run with it quite as much as Dan has with Artorias.
So you want to know who Artorias is? Well, it's easy, really. He is the strong but silent type. He is a man of honor, but he is deeply flawed. I'm being given the opportunity to be a player again for a long-term campaign, and it's given me the opportunity to explore some very human elements and very human flaws, and that will come to the surface through Artorias.
When approaching a paladin character, it can be very easy to sort of fall into one of two lanes, be it the hero of justice or the scorned, oathbreaker type out for revenge, whereas Artorias has some elements of both of those, but he is also fighting a much more personal war, aside from the spiritual side of his character.
He is a man of action, but will not act unless there is due cause. He's all about justice, really, as well. Like, he wants to ensure that people are treated fairly, people are treated right, but if you're a wrong'un, he'll put the sword to you, without a second thought.
Yeah, what can be said about Jax? I don't want to give too many spoilers away. He's not so much standoffish, more kind of reserved. He's not going to be the first person in the room to say something, but he's also not afraid to speak up for what he believes in. Well, his values are super important. He is a single father of 2 cats living in the Grand Market. He's got a bit of a grungy little apartment with kind of tinkering tables around, various pulleys and mechanisms that break so frequently. Think Rodney from Robots in terms of loving to tinker, but things explode a lot.
There's another aspect to his character, which is that of legacy. He comes from a family who have served Valvaris for generations.
Yeah, I feel like that might come up.
But he has been kind of thrust into the realization that society does come with a very, very human cost.
I think if he were to have a motto, it would probably leech on the back of the War Divers motto as they descend from the skies into battle, of down to death.
So the War Divers are what you might consider the Spec Ops branch of the Valvarian March.
But for him, it's down to death of the system. Anarchy, baby!
Marcus, I would describe as more than meets the eye. Marcus is not to be underestimated.
Marcus is a really interesting one because, you know, he is a very capable person, both on the battlefield and in his investigations.
He might be built like, you know, the stereotypical jock, but he is definitely more clever than you think. That sort of brings up the question, you know, what came first, the brains or the brawn?
He's less trying to redeem himself for past mistakes and more trying to navigate his way through the consequences of decisions he made, which at the time seemed like good decisions to make.
Is his reason for being there his fault? That's debatable, maybe.
But actually have much farther reaching consequences both for himself and the people around him and the city of Valvaris than he may have initially realised.
Marcus has a few skeletons in his closet. Usually you go in and you're like, okay, I'm an adventurer. This time around, I have no idea. And that's gonna be insane and it's scary, but it's also really, really exciting.
Tell you about Lumiere? Well, she loves to be overestimated. And not in the way you might think. So she can be in a room where conversations are happening, where people don't think she really knows what's going on, but she is taking it all in.
Lumiel is definitely going to be the wild card in the party, as Natalie often tends to do.
She's great with details, and she has a long memory. So if you say something or do something that doesn't sit right with her, you can bet your ass that she knows exactly what you said.
They are certainly in this position by their own doing. There is very little manipulation from bureaucrats and higher forces that have gotten Lumiel to where she is. She's a bit of a mischief maker.
More forgive rather than forget. She loves to give people nicknames. She is very friendly and outgoing and personable. She can actually put up with a lot of gruffness before it would bother her. She also knows when to step back.
It's going to be really, really fun to see Lumiel kind of deal with some of the more stoic members of the party and how that is going to clash slightly maybe, but it's going to be an interesting ride for sure.
So I don't know how that's going to fit with the party. We have some interesting names going on so far. She's very aware of her surroundings, so she can fit into most situations comfortably.
Who is Artemis J. Stringfield? He is a character that fundamentally struggles to find a place in the world that seems to struggle to find a place for him.
Artemis is a bit of an enigma. He's figuring some stuff out, both about himself and about the world and its nature, of the nature of being and personality and all these different aspects that make people who they are.
He is different on a number of levels. He has a power that very few others have and could open the world up to him in so many different ways if he really put his mind to it, but he refuses to because he knows the more he does that, the more he will drive away the people he wants to help, wants to be around. He, on a deep level, wants to be accepted, wants to find friends and a place for himself in the world and to help and to be helpful and do good in whatever way he can. He is full of idiosyncrasies, he is strange, he is a wild intellect and a huge imagination. The two often combine to create all kinds of theories and conspiracies.
I sort of see Artemis almost like the sort of Fox Mulder allegory. He's very much in tune with the other side and constantly curious about what else is out there beyond the veil and beyond what the mind allows us to see.
It's going to be interesting and it's going to be fun to be probably the strangest character in a group of very serious, very hardened detectives by the sounds of it, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I like to be strange.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a lovely break. We're about to head back into this episode of Aerilon, the Sins of the Peacekeeper. Hope you got your refreshments. Hope you got your little snacks. Hope you've been reviewing your notes. And we're going to drop back in to Lumiel.
Hello.
Heading up to check out the notice board. Or up to check out the bounty board. You head to the front of the room, and there is bounties for various gangs, and you look out for the one-wheel whip snappers.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a bounty for the head of the organization, Mr. Cavill, for 600 gold.
Okay. I don't know that name because I wasn't there. So this is new information to me. 600 gold. She jots that down. Is there any other ones that sort of I've heard of seem quite low level?
There are many. There are various strange and wonderful names. You pick out a couple that you do recognize.
Okay.
Such as the Full Bloom Furies. The Full Bloom Furies says they are located on causing mischief on the roads between the border of Varverdon and East Arches and the Grand Market.
Okay.
They're very dangerous. The price on bringing that group down is 1,200 gold.
Okay.
And
Jot
then
that down.
there's also the Sting Ring.
Oh yeah, she definitely would have jotted that down. Go on, give me the information on the Stingray.
They operate mostly out of Ulvaris, which you know to be the kind of suburban, quite sort of muddy sort of area to the east of the city proper, over the river outside the Loth Gate, but they come in and they do jobs in East Arches. They are on there for 1,000 gold. Take those.
Okay.
And there are many others. There are some which are sort of like individual criminals for like 50 gold and 100 gold and stuff like that. You can start taking down some of those names as well if you want, which I can send to you. But the main one
you know what? Just send. She would take down as much information as she can. So if you just ping me that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll ping that to you between sessions, so that you've got all the information at your fingertips. Is there anything else you wanted to do after you finish this?
She would have headed up to Bandolier to see if her thing was finished. Just while if everyone hasn't come down by that point, she'll go and see if her gadget is finished. While she's in the house.
Yeah. Okay. You only takes you a few minutes to note everything down. You rip a couple of notices on the board and sort of what's the word? Not sketchbook. What's the word for when people stick loads of stuff in a book?
Scrapbook.
Collage?
Scrapbook. I knew Han would know that. You kind of scrapbook some of the leaflets just into your notes and stuff like that and just stick them in so that you've got the first-hand information. It only takes you a few minutes. Then you head up just to see Arturius leaving the Bandelier's workshop with seemingly a new sword.
Okay. How's he saying? Is it me? I pass him and go, yes, it's you.
Fucking knew it. And just kind of walk back.
You head in, and Bandolier is there. You see him just twiddling away with what looks like almost like a wristwatch to him in his hands, but you know to be the bracer that you handed over that you wanted your pan flute attached to. And he is like, oh, wait right there, I've nearly got this. And he's actually got it wrapped around a finger. And he's just kind of tweaking away at it. He goes, he bends his finger a little bit, and you see these pipes from either end of it go and like click out. Yeah, I hope you don't mind. I had to saw it off, but
that was a gift. But okay, sure.
What?
No, I'm sure it'll do great.
I mean, it still works exactly the same. Works. So what it does, I've added a hinge and a folding mechanism so that it's flush with the finger or the wrist, and that should make it easily concealable. But then you see this little, hey, maybe you should put it on. There you go.
Right. I do.
He tries to tie the buckle around your wrist with his fingernails.
I've got it. Don't worry.
Okay, yeah.
Done.
So you see that little catch there? You just bend your quick flick of the wrist, and you'll see. And you do, and it from either side, almost like the pan pipes are. The pan flute is built into the wrist. You see the bits that you blow it pop up from the edge, and then the ends of what are they called? Flutes, I guess. Yeah, the end of the flutes pop out the other side of the bracer, so you can kind of. I should leave your hands to.
Just one more time, DM. What does she do? Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
you need it again, or you?
Exactly what I wanted.
I'm good.
That's exactly what I needed. Thank you.
Yeah, I figured, something to keep your hands free. So when you're doing your, what do you do?
I mainly use a bow when I'm.
Oh, that's perfect.
That.
Perfect.
So,
Give it one of them.
so what do I do?
Slide whistle.
Kind of like. All right, it's quite a good.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
Thank you for being so quick
already in
with
the
it.
motion of it. Oh, it's an easy job to do. I can do stuff like that in. How long's it been?
Like 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Fucking hell, that's fast for even me. Jesus. Yeah, 20 minutes.
Well, I think everyone else is waiting for me, but if I have any other.
You lot are
Yeah,
always
just
in
someone-
such a rush, aren't you? Oh, that's a good point. Actually, in a rush, I need to speak to Jax. If you tell him these
Well,
these things he bought me are interesting.
I think they're just chilling at the moment. So I will send him up.
Nice one. Anything else you need while you're here, or?
Nope.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
She goes out. Yeah, so she'll head downstairs and tell Jax.
Cool. Artemis, you headed up to Quill, right? Was that you
I
doing that?
didn't.
Oh, no, it was Marcus. Sorry. Marcus, you sort of headed up to Quill to get some information about the one-wheel whip snappers, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so you walk in the room and Quill's there doing Quill stuff.
Hi, Quill.
Just a second. Oh, hey, Marcus. What? Just a second.
I'm gonna look over his shoulder.
He
I'm
appears. He appears to be similar to the tap that he showed you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
recently. He seems to be working on that, and seems to be uploading information to it. You can see that there is this holographic text which is appearing in front of him as he taps away on this sort of leather keyboard,
Oh.
which each has little gems. And he's tapping the little gems on the keyboard.
Is it possible to see what he's writing?
Make a perception check.
Oh. That's not good. That's an 8. 7.
7. You just catch the final word he types, which is awesome. And then he closes it. What do you need?
Well, I was told that you might have...
Did you manage to get me some of those, like, access to the Argent Star database yet? Because I gotta say, that's something I'm really hoping to upload to the tab here. It'll give us so
Yeah.
much access.
Not yet, unfortunately, but I might be able to call in a favor for that.
Cool. I wish I could say something like that. I'll call in a favor. It's so badass.
Well, I do need a favor from you.
Oh, you're calling in the favor? I'm the guy that you call in the favor from. That's awesome. Maybe I'm the badass. Jeez.
Yes,
You
cool.
probably heard about the one-wheel whippersnappers that we...
Oh yeah, God, nasty bunch. Sure. Oh, do you need like a printout or like some information? I've got a whole dossier.
As much as you need.
As much as you need. Well, I got a lot. Actually,
Alright, well-
do I? One wheel? Yeah, no, I do. I got at least like 3 pages.
Okay, well, give me the 3 pages and I'll get them back to you in about 30 seconds.
Sure, I'll make you a copy. 1 second. 2 seconds. And he goes.
Oh, I can just look at them. You don't need to make me a copy. That's fine.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I can trust you with the originals, right, Marcus? Me and you're a team right here. You're calling a favor from the guy who can get shit done, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I love this. He pushes, kicks his chair back from the desk that he's standing at, pushes a button, and it goes and raises him up towards the ceiling. He maneuvers the chair over to one wall where he opens a drawer, pulls out a file. No, that's not that one. This one here. It's 4 pages. 4 pages. Look at me.
Amazing.
And he comes back down. Yeah, so, I mean, what do you got here? One Wheel Whipsnappers. They've been around a couple of years. Pretty big on numbers. They've got a lot of people working for them. So, yeah, take what you want from that. I wouldn't go at them head on, but said to be using some quite advanced technology. In fact, that's what actually first put them on our radar. The technology that they use, we've been trying to get hold of some to try and kind of discern what's behind that. But it seems to make.
I think we brought some.
Oh, you did? Oh man, what have you got them on you? Can I take a look?
I think Vandalay has them.
Sure. He's the best guy to send that kind of thing to, not me. I mean, I wouldn't know where to start. I just wanted to kind of look at it because it sounds cool. But apparently they can go at enormous speeds.
That is interesting. Don't they use unicycles?
Yeah, I know. That's the weird thing, right? You wouldn't think you'd be able to get up much speed with just one wheel and powering it with your little legs. I mean, your legs are bigger than mine, but my little legs wouldn't be able to get me even 5 miles an hour. Jeez, but these guys seem to go at like 40, sometimes 60, 80 miles an hour. They're fast motherfuckers. But hey, sorry, you don't need me to read this to you. I'm not a storyteller. You take the dossier and you bring it back to me whenever you're done.
All right.
I will need
I'll
it back.
Literally just take it, start reading, flip a page, start reading, flip a page, start reading, flip a page.
Yeah. So
read the last thing, and
okay, so yeah, I'll give you some sort of off-the-top information that you're able to glean. I'll give you more detailed information between sessions, but their numbers are upwards of 80 members. They have been led by a couple of leaders, but they've only really come into strength recently since they were taken over by a new individual, this Mr. Cavill. Very little is known about him. But it is said through certain investigations that have been led and things, and sort of word around the street is that he was once the leader of some kind of circus, which did not do well at all. It was sort of laughed off, but not in the way that a circus wants to be laughed off. And it seemed like he couldn't get the help that he needed to establish himself as a great. What's the word for the guys in the middle of a circus? Ringleader. Yeah. Wasn't able to become the ringleader he wanted to be because he couldn't get the other talents. But his talent was what drew in the crowds. He was apparently very, very good on his unicycle at juggling and especially at doing whip stuff. Some of the crimes they've been involved with are quite gruesome. Dismemberments. People have found dismembered bodies around and later identified them to be people that got on the wrong side of the One Wheel Whipsnappers. Kidnappings, they do quite a lot for ransoms. They're also just a very violent gang. They don't tend to do much in the way of robberies that you can see looking through some of the case files and abbreviations. Things that you're quite familiar with, you can sort of read it just as a scan. But you do see there is a lot of murder, a lot of kidnapping, certain people who have escaped after being tortured for several days, things like that. So the nasty bunch of people, really spiteful. But it does seem that they have control of a large area between sort of on the western East Arches, sort of bordering the Grand Market. They tend to operate mostly.
Okay.
And yeah, but there's obviously the same accounts that the reason they've been so successful is they're able to pretty much consistently evade capture and custodians and stuff. Sometimes even mounted patrols are not able to keep up with them. So yeah, hard to pin down.
Right. Cool.
And that seems to be their route to success is their mobility and their ruthlessness.
Right, so these fuckers have numbers, they are fast, they are slippery, and they're dangerous.
I mean, you summed it up better than I could. I mean, I'm learning to sum things up, to be honest. I was talking to Arturius earlier. I had a conversation with the Regent, and he kind of told me that, you know, it's not, I want, it's good that you know lots of, sorry, I'm doing it again.
No, you're fine. I'm not the Regent. I actually enjoy having intellectual conversations for once.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, it's great. I wish you would talk more.
Yeah, we should.
There's a lot that I want to hear you. There's a lot that you've got to say that I want to hear, I'm sure.
Hey, when we're currently on the case, but when this case closes, should we spend a weekend and just sit and browse through old papers and see what we can just talk about previous experiences and stuff?
You see his face slowly, his eyes widen, and then his face creeps into a smile, which by the end of you saying this is almost a maniacal grin. That is exactly what I want to do every day, if I could. But like,
I might not have the database already, but I have some notes at home that I could bring. Previous cases, organizations, things.
Dude,
like that.
Are you serious? That would be so useful to. Are you allowed to take files out of the Argent Tower?
I don't take files. I just look at stuff, remember them, then I jot them down later. So technically, I'm not breaking any rules.
Well, I mean, now that you're around, they probably don't need me, huh? Don't tell Regent that.
I need you.
Thanks, buddy. We all need you.
I'm not so sure about that. Although I did hear that apparently they need my hammer, so I guess that's one thing.
But hey, you're pretty sharp up here too, buddy, from what I've read.
Yeah, well, you know what to say. Big mind, big hammer.
Listen, what I was saying... I'll have to check my records. I've not heard that one before, but hey, listen, what I said before about the whole records and stuff from the Argent Tower and things like that, if you do have a contact that might be able to slip us in and give us a kind of backdoor to that kind of information, then that'll be really useful. I'd like to work with you on that.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Awesome.
Right. Well, I need to get back, but thanks so much for this. You wouldn't have, by any chance, anything about if this Waldron Barbazan guy, if he had any political connections of any kind, or was seen with anyone of that sort?
Waldron Barbazan. I've got some files on his kind of history with the Argent Star and the AOB. I've got all of his books. His books are really great. I especially love the there's one that I really like, the Head of the Pale Horse. That was such a good one. I read that about 3 or 4 times.
I think you should talk to Lumiel about that. She's really interested in those books.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I mean, the Detective Digby Dungeon series is a little bit childish for my liking. I prefer the the
maybe not mention that. Maybe not mention that to her.
Oh,
just for say, keep ourselves safe. But yeah, say that it was.
She's not a Digby doll, is she? Those people are so cringe. They don't know good literature. They don't know good literature if it slapped them in the face. Honestly, I mean, look. I mean,
Don't turn him into this guy.
Well, it's still Barbazan, so he's got the talent. It's engaging stories, but I just prefer the less simple mysteries. By chapter 4 or 5, I always figure out who the bad guy is, and it's not as much of a challenge for the mind, but they're fun.
You and I are gonna get along great.
You should read some of his stuff. It's really good.
I have some of it, mainly about him, but...
nonfiction. Fair enough.
I'll get into it.
You should. Expand your imagination a little, I know I'm a fan of nonfiction as well. I mean, look where I am. But
True. All right. Anyway, I need to get going, but I'll see what I can do about those documents.
Thanks. I mean, if you can just get a way in, I might have a way to tap into things.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Nice. Thanks, Marcus. I hope to see you soon. Let's sort out that
Will.
weekend soon, huh?
Yeah.
Good luck with the case.
Thank you.
And tell the others
Will.
I said that too.
Will do.
Bye.
Bye. I'll walk out.
And thus a beautiful marriage began.
Stop
Artemis,
shipping me with absolutely everyone.
Artemis, is there anything you wanted to do during this time where everyone's making their preparations?
No, Artemis, very much like Jax, but in a different way, is just chilling in the conference room, contemplating life and everything that is coming from the information that has been given to him thus far. So it's very much a sort of a let's get back on track kind of session, just to chill and regroup.
Okay, good. Lumiel, you get to the bottom of the stairs, back into the briefing room.
So she walks straight up to Jax. Bandolier has something for you.
I just went up there. These boots are heavy.
He could have given it to me, and he didn't. So
It's all right.
it is rude.
I'm going. Keep
Are
Gil
your boots not
company.
made for walking?
They're made for many things. Walking upstairs, that's where they fall short. They're just really heavy.
He likes to walk
That's
along
just not what
rooftops.
they'll do,
So
huh?
much better.
No, I don't understand what reference you're making, but I'm sure it's hilarious. And that continues and goes to the stairs.
Fuck you.
There's a lot of sass coming out in this part too.
Whoa.
But they would be a whole heap more chilled having relaxed for a bit than they are.
Man.
Yeah, you walk into Ban's workshop, and he's got one of the unicycles deconstructed on his desk. There you are. I wanted to get your thoughts on this.
Okay. I kind of walk in. I just take a closer look, focusing on, identify. I want to see if I can identify some kind of what the power source is. That's mainly what I want to look at.
Okay. Give me a Tinker's Tool check,
Okie dokie.
just to dip into your mechanical knowledge.
That is a 19.
19. You see that there are various gears and stuff within the main structure of this sort of main frame of the spokes, or of the wheel that the spokes are all sticking out of. There's a lot of gears. Smaller ones seem to feed larger ones seem to feed smaller ones that sort of give it this torque. But there is an aspect in the center which is clearly very different to you that you are not able to put a pin on. You do recognize that this does have some similarities with some of the advanced machines that you've seen being used by the Valgeir, in particular the drop ships that the war divers use. Some similarity to this.
Okay.
What do you think?
I mean, this, like just straight towards the gears and stuff. This I can kind of get heads or tails out of, but this, I don't know. It's advanced. I've seen it before, but I don't know how it works.
Well, that's because that wasn't made here. Have you ever heard of a Hellfire engine?
Have I ever heard of a Hellfire engine?
Make me a history check.
Oh, I don't think I have, it's a 6.
It's a 6. No, you have not.
No.
Well, I'm not surprised, because to hear of a Hellfire engine, you'd have to be from my neck of the woods.
Which is?
You ever heard of Avernus?
Huh.
Spent
I would assume that yes, because I have.
you've heard tell of
Yeah.
Avernus in folklore and fairy tales and religious prayers and things like that. You know it to be an area within the Nine Hells. Yeah, so spent a bit of time down there. So I picked up my craft. Working on far more advanced machines than they've got up here. Not dissimilar to that one you've got on your hip, actually.
I was wondering why you were so familiar with it.
They've all got all kinds of machines for killing down there. Not really what I preferred to deal with. I much prefer the more useful mechanisms. But they have their uses, and that brings me on to another thing I wanted to tell you about. Project I brought up with me.
You brought something up.
Well, the knowledge of which I brought up and some of the key ingredients. Obviously, I couldn't haul the whole thing up here. Regent didn't really give us that option.
Okay, I have so many questions, but Ban, I need to see whatever you're talking about.
Follow me. He walks to the back of his workshop. He begins lifting things and moving them out of the way. Boxes of cylinders and pipes and things and various mechanisms. He's just moving out of the way to reveal something beneath a large black tarp. And he pulls the tarp away. The rest of you,
Oh no! We don't want to do anything. I'm good. I'll wait downstairs. You go back to Jax.
are down now in the briefing room, having gathered back together. Regent steps out of his office. You're not still here?
Yeah, we're waiting for Jax.
All right, fair enough. Cran bursts through the door. You guys wanted some of those whip snappers, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Well, I've just seen 3 of them pass by outside. Going fucking Mac fuck knows, but they're going somewhere. Be quick, catch up to them.
I grab my hammer.
Okay.
I also run off. I go fly after them as well.
Okay. You all begin to race towards the door, and you're met by Jax running down the stairs, eyes wide and a big smile on his face.
Did you hear the news?
What news?
We're beating up some clowns.
Whip snappers this way.
Jax, you know that these things can move a lot faster than at least you can on foot. Maybe Arthur could catch up to them on his elk, but you've just been given a much faster means of traversal. This is what we discussed before.
Yeah.
You guys, we cut now to the street. 3 one-wheel whip snappers are bursting through the streets along the cobbles, the wheels of their unicycles spinning. And then further behind them, around 150 feet back, Arturius is galloping upon his elk in pursuit, just barely matching their speed. One of them turns around to take note and notices Arturius galloping along, stern look on his face. They look at each other and laugh until they hear from one corner to try and cut them off. Jax, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm on top of a bloody motorbike. Essentially, this is a modified, kind of engineered, it's a steampunk-esque motorbike with those similar kind of cores from the unicycles within the wheels and the body itself, the chassis. And I like to imagine, given that I now know where Ban is from, that there is just this kind of like, like the classic skulls with horns at the front, right at the front, just like blazing fire.
Yeah, 4 great big exhaust pipes, 2 on each side. Cough fire as you pull the throttle. What is attached to the side?
Oh, there is absolutely a little sidecar, which, as Jax is just like getting on bike, just kind of looks to Marcus, goes, "Want to hop in?"
Oh, hell yeah.
Ban comes running down the stairs. Well, if you're all going, you might as well all have something to speed you up a little bit. This is what I was thinking for you, Lumi. He throws you what looks like almost like a sort of life vest with 2 large, similar exhausts on the back. Don't use it indoors. You'll end up like a fly on a windscreen.
Okay. And you can see she's genuinely excited by this. She doesn't recognize any of the technology at all, does she?
No.
No.
Okay. Far from anything you've ever seen. Far more technologically advanced, to the point where you almost feel a little bit nervous about putting it on.
Yeah, but I trust him, so I strap it on.
Okay, you do. Just see that big button in the middle on your chest? Mm-hmm. Give that a slap and try to stay in a straight line.
Please tell me Optimus gets roller skates.
Almost before he's finished that sentence, she's already slapped it and sped off.
You slap it and you go directly up in the air. You manage as you do. Give me a dexterity check.
Okay.
So you can try and
that's
angle...
good. Dex plus 6, so that's 24.
24. Yeah, you do. You start flying up into the air and you see the rooftops very quickly descend below you, and you immediately sort of untuck your wings that you had put the life jacket over initially, and you manage to sweep one wing up and you start heading down towards the floor to get yourself in line with Arturius on his elk and Jax and Marcus on the bike. Artemis, you kind of see these guys speed off.
He just looks nice. It's fine, I'll walk. It's all so loud.
No need. I've got just the thing. And he throws down a little circular carpet. About the size that you could comfortably kneel on it.
Yeah. I mean, it'll look nice in the house, thank you. And he just starts to like roll it up, thinking it's just thanks.
You might want to think about it a bit more. Use that noggin of yours.
Oh, I don't want to.
You unflip it and you sit down on it cross-legged. And you begin to focus on this thing, and you immediately feel it come up from the ground to levitate to you. It's not going to be as fast as the others, but I thought it might be something useful.
I don't need to be fast. Is this stable? It's
you begin to think, and there is a psionic pang in your mind as you connect with this object. You will it forward, but your telekinetic psionic power causes it to, and you start flying through the street, cross-legged on this circular little carpet, flying along, kind of drifting along like that. You eventually do manage to catch up to the rest of them.
All Banny is like, is this stable?
Yeah, it's very much. You get yanked away. You guys are now all flying through the streets in your various means of traversal at great speed. The engine of the bike. And you pull out in front, Jax. These 3 one-wheel whip snappers see this procession which is gathered behind them. And one of them makes a hand signal and they each split off. One goes straight, 2 of them go side to side. Who are each of you following?
I took left.
Right?
I guess.
Right.
Wait, so
Well-
someone's going straight ahead and someone's going off to the side?
They split in
There's
the 3.
Yeah, they split into
Great.
like two either side and then one straight ahead. So they've gone 3 different directions on the street.
Okay.
Marcus is gonna scream, right, right, right,
Oh, right!
and then I'm gonna smack my hammer into the floor to give us a spin.
That's so fucking sick. Yeah, okay. So Lumiel, you kind of whoosh, you go straight and then kind of curl round and then go to the right because you're going at such such high speed. You don't have a very good turning circle at these speeds. So you kind of loop round and then go down the left-hand street. Artemis and Arthur, where are you going?
I'm going to turn towards Artemis and go, could possibly use a vantage point. And
You see Artemis like come beside you and just like turning ever so slightly, like not quite seeming. By
the way,
and then, like,
Just to give you guys a better image, the inspiration for Artemis's thing is, you know, Yoda's little thing that he floats around on? Very much that kind of style.
Thick. I'm just going to point up to Artemis and go, could use a vantage point, and I will whip Elandir to go ahead.
Okay, Elandir. And you see it's almost pulling up cobblestones with the speed that this thing is now moving at. The antlers going over each shoulder as you lean forward and raise your butt to give that proper jockey kind of position. And you are flying down the street. Artemis, you go upwards and you're providing almost a UAV sight, watching both or all 3 pursuits.
keeping to like 100 to 120 feet, just in range of message. So if anything changes, you can just message people on direction should they get too far, etc. Just eye in the sky.
Cool. Okay. So I want to know, as you guys, because you guys are matching speed with them now, I want to know each individually how you either maneuver or what actions you take to try and either stop or catch up to these people that you're pursuing. So we're going to start with Jax and Marcus.
I am going to sacrifice my advantage at distance. I'm going to close the gap and get it so that the sidecar is ideally within melee range. So I'm going to use my action to dash and get Marcus as close as possible.
Okay. So you're gonna dashing on these machines, they only have a certain amount of speed per turn, but you can push them. Much like you could the elk could dash, or things like that. So what I'm going to ask for you, Jax, is an athletics check, so you're really wrenching down on the throttle to try and get as much juice out of this thing as you possibly can.
Okay. Anyway, I can get. Don't know why I'm looking. I can't get advantage or anything. Let's go. 18.
18. Okay.
Yeah.
And the flames out of these 4 exhaust pipes either side of you. Marcus, you see these things begin to start coming into range, and you ready your hammer. Lumiel.
Yes, so Lumiel is... She, for a second, goes to let go of the 2 straps to pull her bow, but then doesn't feel too secure enough to do that.
Yeah, you kind of corkscrew a little bit as you do release your hands, especially at this speed.
Nope. And then she focuses really hard, and she does what she does when she misty steps to try and get that extra 30 feet ahead.
Okay.
To catch up. So hopefully she is on them.
Okay.
I don't know how far away they are away.
What's your spell ability? for?
What do you mean?
Like, what's your spell attack, or what are your spells based on? What's your?
It's
Depends on the class.
So yeah, I've got two. Dexterity is because it's an ability because of my background, Fey touched that I get.
Oh, okay. Then I will say, just make me a charisma check. Then,
Right.
just because that's sort of what you control your Fey magic with. I'm guessing.
15 plus charisma, which is 2, so that's a 17.
17. Okay, you close your eyes, which are already kind of streaming from the speed, and you will yourself forwards, and you reappear, and you don't see the people you're pursuing anymore.
Fuck.
You kind of slow down for a second, and you get hit from behind by one of them who has smashed into you with their forehead. And you are now kind of grappling with this guy as he's now blinded by you.
Nice.
Traveling at great speeds down the road. We'll come back to that.
You're literally a fly on the windshield.
That is just what I was writing, like word for word.
Artemis and Arturius. Gil and Arthur. What are your maneuvers and how are you coordinating that? Or what are your actions?
Gil, you go first.
I mean, I'm following like you on the. I'm high in the sky. I'm pretty much just over you watching this, so it's.
I mean, you're still within range to take actions if you wish, depending on what the range of those actions are. I'd say you're probably about gaining 40 to 30 feet from them, but then you're high up, so you're probably about 60 feet from them.
Okay.
And Arturius, you're about 30 feet from him.
Okay. While he's waiting then, I would like the individual to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh, wisdom saving throw.
DC is 15.
Count. DC is 15. So that's a 13.
Okay.
8 plus 4.
So I have Channel Divinity, and I have what's it called? Champion's Challenge. As a bonus action, each creature of my choice within 30 feet makes the saving throw and cannot move more than 30 feet away from me. So I just stop dead.
So tell me how this happens. I want you to describe this rather than just describing the spell. I want to know how this happens.
So I will yell. I will be riding,
charging on your elk,
Ithrandir, and I will, as I'm Champions challenging and Channel Divinity this individual, I will pull back on the reins so that Ithrandir kind of comes up onto its hind legs, and I will just kind of yell out and go,
so there's another that must lose their feet.
And as Ithrandir stamps down, I want the ground to tremble from there up towards, so that the unicycle kind of jutters around, so that they kind of have to put the foot down. And then as they kind of turn round, I would like Ithrandir's eyes to look as if they're smoking up.
Okay. If you don't mind, I'm going to add something to that as well. As the sort of cobbles ripple towards this person, and you see they begin to lose their balance and slow down on the unicycle, at that moment that the ripple reaches them and travels in front of them, another spectral aspect of Ithrandir appears in front of it, raising its hooves in front of this individual at the same time, blocking their path, and they screech to a stop, almost falling off their unicycle, and turn to you and start winding up their whip. Artemis, what are you doing?
Okay.
So they've stopped now, yeah?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Just because it's fun to do. Sort of almost UFO-like on this round carpet, just sort of like moving around the air, like, whoa, whoa, like, coming in left and right. Like it sort of moves into like a kind of dive, doesn't quite get it right properly, and then as he sort of like barrel rolls straight towards him. Like an alien, he sort of like, oh come on, you can do it. Who made a carpet fly? Like slaps the goggles onto his face. He's gonna sort of like come down like just above this guy, and like UFO, I'm gonna cast Ray of Sickness down in the same sort of greenish spirally pattern as if it looks like he's been abducted from the light in between, but I'm casting this
Nice.
down on top of this guy.
Nice. This spiral of sickness begins to descend on this person as they crash to the ground, barely staying on their unicycle. As the
second level.
the spectral form of Ithrandir dissipates in front of them, and the smoky eyes of Ithrandir begin to bellow.
So that's a 24 to hit.
24 to hit hits.
Cool. They need to make a Constitution saving throw at 15.
Okay. They got a Constitution save. They got a 20.
Yeah.
20.
Okay, yeah. So they say that's fine. So they're not poisoned, but they do take. That's not an 8. That's nothing. There we go. That is 7. 4, 8, 9. They take 19 points of damage.
Okay.
19 points of poison damage as the race just like surrounds them before Artemis kind of like
Halved because they saved.
Say again?
Is that halved because they saved?
Oh,
or-
did they save Silvery Barbs?
No, they
Natural
saved
one.
against being they saved against being poisoned. It
Okay,
doesn't
they
pass.
still take the full damage. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, they silvery barbs, so then they lost, so they are also poisoned, and that was
There we go.
19 points of damage. Yeah.
That's sick.
What's
You've been waiting to do that.
What's the movement speed of this carpet?
So
Around.
all of you, I'm going to say that the restrictions of these things that you ride, obviously, the Fine Steed is slightly different because the Fine Steed is a creature and therefore can be controlled a little bit more specifically. But this gives you guys, if you take the dash action, the dash is 120 feet.
Oh yeah.
So you guys are moving at 120 feet a turn using these things, matching the speed of the unicycles. Only when you dash.
As he beams down the poisoned ray onto this guy, he kind of trying to stand up on it like a surfboard, kind of like slowly spins into motion next to like Arthur and just kind of like slightly stands like, yeah, what are you gonna do now, huh? Stupid one-wheeled machine.
Jax and Marcus, you guys begin closing down. Jax, you pushing this machine to whatever limit you believe it might have with your very little experience of it, but you're pushing it and it's starting to shake between your legs. Marcus, you sort of lean over, start winding up the hammer. What are you doing?
So I'll quickly turn to Jax and say, are we killing him, or are we letting him lead us to where the others are?
I'm trying not to kill us with this thing, so you can make that executive decision.
Right? Punch me.
Okay. Oh.
So I get smacked in the face, and as soon as the blood starts
D4,
pouring, I
please.
just turn towards.
Four.
4. You take,
That's
what's
fine.
your strength modifier?
+1.
You take 6 points of, 5 points of blood,
Yeah.
blood damage.
So as soon as the blood starts pouring from my mouth, I just turn towards my hammer and spit the blood onto it, and it crystallizes into ice.
Nice.
And I
Nice.
swing it up, go towards the wheel where the fire is coming from. Just go,
Okay.
you're running a bit hot, mate.
Okay, make an attack for me.
$16 plus.
Yeah.
Where's my 16 plus 6, 22.
22 hits. Roll damage.
All right. So that's 7 plus 3. That's 10 bludgeoning and 5 cold damage.
Okay, so you hit the unicycle from underneath this one-wheel whip snapper. He tries to take an attack back at you as you approach for a 19 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay, you take 10 points of damage. Make a strength saving throw. This could be bad for him.
A strength saving throw?
Yeah, if you...
Okay. Let's see. What's my saving throw? Right, cool. That is 17.
17. Okay, so you manage to shake free of the whip as it tries to curl around you, but you hit the wheel and you see it begins to like go a bit wonky and stuff like that as he's going along, until eventually the ice seizes the gears and the unicycle stops. The man atop does not. He flies forwards.
Can I try and catch him?
Yeah, absolutely. You can try and catch him. That's going to be, make me a dexterity check to see if you can lean off.
Okay.
Yeah, see if you can lean off the car, and then it's going to be athletics check to see if you can hold on to him. So next first.
Attack.
Dexterity is 15.
15. Okay, yeah, I'll say that's enough to at least get a hand on him, but it's going to be athletics to actually grab him and keep him from hitting the ground.
Okay, cool. Not 20.
he flies forward. You see his face, and then he droops, and the floor is just speeding below him. He looks to the side, and you're just holding him.
Want to talk about your leaders? Where you're based?
No.
And I'll start lowering him towards the ground.
Okay, great. Love that. We're going to come to Lumi.
Yeah.
Lumi, you find yourself being swatted off of the face of this guy as he's slammed into your back.
I am going to try and turn around and grab him like behind his head. So I'm trying to turn around and move around him.
Oh,
so
okay, so
I'm
you're trying to get
like
onto his shoulders.
behind his head, yeah, like onto his shoulders, yeah.
Okay, let me get an acrobatics check from you, please.
Okay. Went nowhere. That's cocked. Okay, acrobatics.
This is ridiculous.
Oh, that's a minus
Sorry,
one.
guys. Had to do it.
That's a 17.
Great.
17. I'm fine. Yeah, that's enough for you to sort of, at this great speed with this wind resistance, you're able to kind of flip yourself round, catch the back of his neck, and then lift yourself up so you're pretty much on his shoulders. He's going to continue to try and swipe at you, just with his hands. 15 on the first attack.
Hits.
Okay. I need you to make a athletics check for me, please.
Oh, that was much better. I'm still minus one. So that's a 19. It was a nat 20.
Okay, you got 7 on the dice for a 9. So you manage. He sort of bats at you and tries to grab you and pull you off, but he's also trying to maintain his balance. He's not able to get a good grip on you. What are you doing while you're on his shoulders, grabbing onto him?
I'm
Grabbed by his ears. Imagine.
One ear, because I'm pulling the new dagger from my waist.
Okay.
And I want to slit his throat.
Make an attack for me. It's going to be with advantage because technically you have him grappled.
Okay. That's that's a fucking nat 20.
Let's go! Oh, this is going to be a bad chunky crit, man.
Right.
Okay, so give me damage first, and then
This is with my dagger of venom, the new dagger that you got. Right. Okay.
Shit.
Not the cursed one.
So, no,
No, I have that
I
one.
don't have that. Yeah. Right. So, damage first. Right, it's a D4. 3 plus 3, so it's 3 double to 6 plus 3, 4. So that's 10 Plus 2. Oh, it's only 1d10, isn't it? Not 2d10, you said.
Yeah. So it's just the 1 for the poison.
I can't read that. It's an 8.
8.
So that's double to
16.
16. So 26.
26. And the chunky crit?
So, and 8 of those were poison as well. Chunky crit is 2.
Ooh,
Also, have
2.
you added your dexterity modifier
To what?
to the damage?
Damage. I would assume so.
After you doubled it.
Yeah, that was a +4.
Oh, okay.
Important question, DM. Have we leveled up Chunky Crit table, or are you staying with the same one?
Let's stay with the same one for now. I need to
Okay.
review the leveled up one.
Okay.
I haven't looked at it yet.
Foe jabbed in the eye, ugly bruising, and inflict. It literally went ugly bruising and inflict 1d4 damage with this strike.
Okay, so
An additional
roll another
1d4.
d4 for me.
I can imagine as I'm like slitting his throat with the other hand, I get his eye.
Yeah, you're like gouging his eye, almost holding on to the eye socket as you're.
Was it D4, did you say?
Yeah.
2.
2. Okay. Through this, you slice at his throat, you gouge out one of his eyes. He sort of begins to stumble, and you see him rearing off his path towards a heavily laden merchant's cart.
Oh. With people there?
No people there. It's
Okay,
just heading towards a big wooden cart full of goods and boxes.
Do I have
crates.
time to make an action now? Because I've already done loads of actions.
I mean, yeah, we're not in
Okay.
combat
No.
specific technically, but this is just.
Okay, well then I am going to. What am I going to do? I hadn't planned this far ahead.
So you probably not an attack action, but if you want to do any other sort of movement or a spell that might come in handy, I'll let you do that. You've just ripped the dagger out from his collar and noticed that he is now heading towards this.
No, what I'm going to do is if I see him, if we're going veering towards it, before he hits, I'm going to let go.
Okay.
So I don't hit it and he does. But I'm still in range of him.
Yeah, okay. So as you unhand him, he kind of wipes his eyes, and then for the half a second before he makes impact with this large car, there's just a. He slams into it at 120 feet speed. He takes a lot of damage. I'm not even going to roll. You manage to make me another acrobatics check just to make sure that you get off at the right time.
What, acrobatics?
Enough
Hang
time
on.
to pull yourself down from the inertia.
18 minus 1 is 17.
That's enough. You kind of kick off the back of his neck with your feet and do a little backflip, and then extend your wings as sort of a parachute to slow you down, and you stay stood floating in midair, lightly flapping your wings as he crashes in. You hear bones break. By the time the dust and wood chip has settled, you see his arms are gangled in various different directions, and he is unmoving.
Oh, God.
Arturius and Artemis, you are facing down this one guy who's beginning to get himself back up onto his feet and is looking side to side at each of you. Artemis surfing on his magic carpet, and Arturius, you trotting forwards on your elk, eyes smoking.
I kind of turn to Artemis and go, "Are you on this one? Or shall I take care of it?"
I feel like you've probably got more attention to relieve than I do, so do your thing.
Okay. Well, you, sir, do you want to die today? As I cast Dissonant Whispers.
Okay, cool. Is that a save on his part?
It is, yeah.
You got. Let me clarify one thing. Are you guys killing this dude?
Don't know yet. Might just dismember him a bit and leave him in the street.
God.
All right, so
He
roll your
hasn't
damage. For dissonant
stated-
whispers.
He hasn't stated non-lethal damage, so
You got a 14 on the save.
Okay, so he fails his save, which means he takes 4d6 damage. And the beautiful part about this is that he has to use his remaining movement to move away from me, but he can't because he's commanded. So that every part of him wants to run, but he just fucking can't.
Exactly. You see, after this, as the damage begins to seep into his mind, you see him kind of like almost like he's glitching, kind of just like not knowing where to go and not being able to run away and looking for a way out.
15 points of damage.
15 points of damage. You see, he kind of clutches his head. He's at your mercy. What are you going to do to this guy?
As my bonus action, I'm going to give Gil Bardic Inspiration. Okay. But I'm going to, as I do this, I'm holding my hand out, and the whisper is, "Do you want to die today? Get down on your knees now." As though this kind of reverberates in his head, but I'm going to kind of like just point towards him and just kind of like slowly bring my hand down towards the ground.
Okay. Gil, what are you doing?
As Arthur does a spell he's very well versed with, he sort of flies up alongside and tries to like stand. It's to some degree on this thing. It's like, did you learn that from me? That's so cool. I didn't know other people could do that.
I may have taken a couple of notes.
Go on then. Well, yeah. He's a clown. There's never a good thing. As he stands on this carpet, he's gonna sort of look to Arthur, to the guy who's sort of glitching through the floor and in the frame rate and can't quite seem to get his FPS back up to speed. He's like, so should I just? I picked up some stuff too. As he does, he holds his hand like this, and the psionic energy sort of makes a circle around his fingers and then becomes like a point to where he goes. I think he does it this way.
I literally just go.
And he is going to. I'm going to use Mind Spike.
God, yeah! Hell yeah, dude.
Oh, so good.
Roll me some damage.
So that will be. He needs to make a Wisdom save of 15 or more.
He got a 2 plus 4, so no.
Excellent. So that is a complete failure. So we will do that.
Did you say excellent? So he's a complete failure.
We will do that. We'll do that 4th level. So that is 6. 14. 17. That's 25 points of psychic damage.
Plus Bardic Inspiration, so you can add a d6 to that.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's magical inspiration.
What did I just say? It was 20 what?
No, 26.
Wait.
6.
20 points of damage, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 29 points of psychic damage now.
29 points of psychic damage. In addition to the dissonant whispers, this guy's mind is completely now detached from his body. You see he does just slump to the floor on his hands and knees, and as the mind spike penetrates his skull, he goes and
You see a very nice, neat hole appear through his head, just like almost like an air gun's just blowing something through. He's like, wow, these are useful.
I literally turn to Arthur and go, wow, where were you hiding that?
Oh, yeah, no, I shouldn't. You know when I said I can fuck people up, I just choose not to.
Choose a different path,
like,
brother.
Shakes
That
his
was
hand like this to
insane.
simulate, and then...
You're off the fucking chain.
Marcus, you pull this guy up from being beaten by the cobbled streets, and you see he's got grazes down one side of his face. One of his eye sockets is broken, and he just kind of gets pulled back up. Who the fuck are you guys?
People you don't mess with. Now, guys, have you dealt with the other ones?
Oh yeah, it was so good.
Affirmative.
You have one chance. Either you let us know where the rest of your guys are hiding, or I'll introduce you to the rest of the cobblestone of Balvaris. You right?
You see one of his lips is already beginning to balloon up. He's like, they're at the cabaret. Most of them are at the cabaret, but there's far too many for all of you. I don't know what 2-bit gang you lot think you are. Well, have you got a name or anything?
Nah.
Where are you, street vipers,
We're nobodies.
motherfucker?
You're just going to splatter into the floor. Yeah. Okay, you do, and you see he kind of cartwheels through the air and bounces behind you as you guys take off.
Ride that cycle, bitch.
You guys,
I had to do a cheese line. I'm on the motorcycle. It has to be allowed.
you guys rendezvous together where Artemis and Arthur are. The pulls up. The looming like a ballistic arc towards the floor, only stopping and again parachuting her wings as she comes down to the floor and lands next to you.
Well, we questioned him for a while, but then his head exploded.
Do I see like the essential bullet hole in this guy's brain?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who did that?
Oh, freak accident. Like we said, we were questioning him, and all of a sudden, just the front of his head popped off. Weird.
Nice.
I know. Like, incredible, really. Stroke of real stroke of luck there.
Were we supposed to be getting information out of them? Because I forgot about that part.
You know where their hideout is, don't we? I thought we were just killing these guys.
Yeah,
It really felt like we reacted like a dog at a squirrel. We all just kind of went.
Yeah, but you got to admit that was kind of fun,
Oh, very.
right?
I'm on cloud 9.
Is that what you call it? That's really nice. And I walk up and pat the motorcycle. Nice to meet you, Cloud. This is
actually,
Ithrandir.
the design and shape of this motorbike, despite being slightly infernal looking, is very Final Fantasy VII Cloud's bike. It's like shape.
This is
almost like the Warhammer 40k motorbike things.
So this is Ithrandir. Oh, yours doesn't talk. You should probably look into that. And I
You
walk
have
up
an
to
elk?
the
Their moose
Yeah,
talks?
of course I do. Yeah, and I kind of jump up and go, and just like start trotting down the street.
All right.
You guys, go on, Marcus. Sorry.
Well, seeing as nobody else got information, most of them are at the cabaret.
Do we know where the cabaret is?
In East Arches.
I mean, East Arches is a fairly big place. I mean, I've been all over East Arches, but I don't... Have I ever heard of a cabaret?
Make me a history check.
Okay. No, that's good, because I've got a plus shit to that, haven't I? History +3, yeah, so that's 21.
Okay, 21. You do know of several cabarets around, sort of more around Grand Market than East Arches. To be fair, around East Arches, it's mostly like pubs and small like
Oh yeah, because it's western
community
side.
theatres and stuff like that. But based on some of the other information you guys have received, you do know of one cabaret which closed down around 4 years ago.
Okay.
As far as you know, it's been closed down for a long time, but it is along the border, the sort of the very south of the border between East Arches and the Grand Market. Around,
But-
if you look at the map, around here.
Okay.
Lovely.
Would I know the name of that cabaret?
Not of that one in particular, but it's the only one that you can think of that matches the description and the sort of area that you know that the one-wheel whipsnappers tend
So
to
it's-
frequent.
I mean, there is one south of the Grand Market. It's not there anymore. It is there, but it's closed. Has been for years.
Sounds like a good place to hand a bunch of freaky clowns.
Yeah, are we not going to the mansion though?
Yeah, we need to go to the manor.
Yeah, also we need to deal with these guys a little bit of the time. I checked with Quill and there's apparently around 80 of them. Oh well, technically I guess there's 75 now.
Oh,
Knocking them down.
so might be a fair fight now then.
There is money for them.
open up
That
a
was on the
notebook.
list.
yeah. Just tally. Go on.
Yeah, they were on the list. There is a bounty for them, so if we do deal with them, eventually we get some money.
Oh, I like money.
There was a name attached to that. They're led by. Oh, I wrote this down.
Cavill?
Cavill. Yes, someone Cavill.
No, just Cavill.
So that's all I know about them. I don't know if you guys know anything more.
Well,
I'll tell you next week.
it seems
You guys hit. Go on.
No, it's just look that's a problem for another day. We really need to
Agreed.
do this first and then see where it leads, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The sun is beginning to set over Valvaris. You hear, or each over your tails. I hear you guys have been awarded a few new toys. I hope
Wait.
you're not wasting too much time playing around with them and are on the case.
On our way now.
Wait, who got toys?
Actually, I do have something for you, Arthur.
Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy this.
Why don't you head back to the house and we'll have that little chat. You can catch up with the others later.
Oh, all right.
It was that open to everybody.
Yep.
As soon as I like disconnect, I'm like, ooh, he's been called to the office.
Yeah, it was nice working with you all. Thanks very much for everything. Gil, your bloodlust needs to be kept in check. It's getting ridiculous now.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. I just gotta, satiate my need for murder.
Jesus.
Don't we all?
And then I will kind of like get on top of. I'm already on a Thrandir, and I'll just kind of like nod to them all, and I'll head back to the house.
Okay. The rest of you mount your various means of traversal. Marcus hopping in the sidecar of Jax's bike. Artemis hopping back on his little circular magic carpet. More of a circular magic doormat than anything. But it's fast.
Why do you keep shrinking it? It was a carpet, now it's a doormat.
It's like a little
Yeah, next
It's
week it'll be a doily.
a small rug.
Welcome here.
Like one of those little carpets you put around the base of your toilet almost.
It's a toilet mat now.
Yeah.
V-shaped for speed.
Wow. Brilliant.
And Lumiel, you managed to sort of click your thing and you bring it into control, so you're not firing off at a huge speed.
Maybe
You guys
ahead and
begin
above them.
ahead and above. You guys begin making your way towards High Crest. Arturius even. You head back to the Last Chance Saloon and you pop up into Regent's office. The first one to actually enter Regent's office, and you see it is quite plain in there. It's quite messy. There are papers stacked up all around. There is a bottle of whiskey on the desk. Atop, again, another big load of strewn papers and 2 glasses. You see there is a window to the outside, which is kind of stained and frosted slightly. There is a large portrait on one wall of a woman, blonde, fair features, but sharp, quite elegant nose, and she's standing there holding a small bouquet with a soft smile on her face. You notice on each corner of the room, From the ceiling to the floor, there are large, thick chains, just straight from the ceiling to the floor at each corner of the room. And the Regent is sat there, finishing a cigarette. Come in, Arthur.
I do so and walk back to the chair opposite the desk and just kind of sit down.
Look, I wanted to have a little bit of chat with you to clarify a few things. And maybe answer some questions that I have as well.
Sure.
Please. Here. And he pours you a drink. Places it on the table. I wanted to let you get a little bit of your nerves and frustration out before we had this chat, because I need you to remain steady-headed. That's something you can do?
You're going to say something that is going to undeniably piss me off, aren't you?
That remains to be seen.
I will do my best to keep my cool whilst in your office.
Very well. You might have cottoned on to a few things during our little discussion earlier.
Yeah.
Forgive the boy, but Quill mentioned to me what you saw in that little orb of yours.
Yeah. You know what that scene is?
I have some idea, but I'm hoping you can shed a little bit of light on things.
I remember
Your prince.
that day. I remember that there was need for guard in the castle, but it wasn't told. I wasn't told what for. Ceremonial armaments for my lord, for my prince, and for me.
Your prince. He interrupts you. Did you ever get a sense from him that he was in touch with things that he or no one else could understand?
Yeah. He confided in me a few times, to be fair. Told me that he could hear my thoughts, that I could keep no secrets. I just thought it was juvenile jokes and him just messing around at first, but then on more than one occasion he bested me in swordplay, almost like he knew where I was going to be and the moves I was going to use before I did. And whenever I questioned how he would do that, he just smiled and said I didn't know.
Also, I knew of your prince, Prince Tristan.
Arthur's hand grips the chair tightly. Did you know?
We were made aware around 2 years ago by a member of the Castle Mages Council that he was exhibiting aspects of those that we have determined to be sensitive to the Far Realm, the psionic abilities, those kind of things. We knew that they were coming for him. We sensed it. All the clues were there.
What did you do?
And I sent a team. Much like the team that you're now part of. I sent a team to try to protect him. But after they got to Lyria and entered the kingdom of Lucis. That's the last I heard of him. Arturius, I know this may be difficult, and I know this may be raising a lot of questions for you. I need you to try and remember. I need you to tell me exactly what happened that day. And that is where we're going to pick up next time.
Okay.
I don't wanna.
Right.
No,
5 more minutes, please.
we're going to go. Guys, we've already run over a little bit. I was trying to finish by 9:30, but thank you all for joining us. I noticed we had a little raid in there at some point. I hope you guys managed to catch that balmy fucking chase through the streets. Some people on motorbikes, some people on elks, some people on toilet mats.
Right, I'm going to design this thing for Dan just so it's not as puny as a toilet mat.
Please do.
I'm going to do the same, and I'm going to make it a toilet mat.
That's fine. There are motorbikes in Valvaris. There are jetpacks in Valvaris. There is all sorts of things. There are weird clown evil men in Valvaris. Find out more about that next week when we return to Aerilon's Sins of the Peacekeeper. Thank you, guys. That was a great one.
Yeah, really good. I enjoyed that. Thank you.
Really good fun. I like the way you guys ran with a lot of those things and some really cool fucking moments during that chase that I'm not going to be able to get out of picturing in my head constantly for the next week. But next week, we're going to be coming back for another episode. Please join us then. And also next week, for those who are joining us towards the end of this episode, we are going to be where, Han?
Oh, we are going to be at Preston Games and Fantasy Con on the 28th of September, so next Saturday at Studio 53 in Preston, Lancashire.
Yeah, so if you want to catch some live D&D from many of the lovely faces that you see before you today, Dan will be reassuming the DM chair for that little one-off, taking a break from the trials and tribulations of fatherhood to get back in the DM chair and plan a little adventure for us in front of a live studio audience. So if you can make it to Preston next weekend, please do join us there. But otherwise, thank you for joining us this evening, and hopefully we'll see you again next week.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.